following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
And on the corner, number 13.
It's Labor Day, and in Canada that means the renewal of a football tradition. In the West, the Eskimos versus the Stampeders, a grudge match at McMahon, and immediately following in the East, the Tiger Cats and the Argos. And football doesn't come much tougher than a game at Ivor Wynne. Stand by, the Labor Day Classics are next. Every aspect of our culture is defined by the classics. Music. Mozart is what Madonna can never be. Literature. A reading list is incomplete without Moby Dick, Emily Bronte, and Homer. The ballet. Swan Lake is the measure of grace and beauty. Industry. In '55, the T-Bird was a work of art. Television. Pioneered by two funny Canadians named Wayne and Schuster. Football. The Battle of Alberta has produced some classic performances. Moments of Calgary brilliance surrounded by the dynasty and domination of a golden Edmonton era. An historic football rivalry. Today, a new script will be written in folklore and records. In Ontario, another fabled history of classic battles between the Tiger Cats and Argos. Hamilton's blue-collar work ethic and pride measured on the football field against the swagger and big shots of Toronto. Today, chants of Oski Wee Wee will waft over the steel mills again for another chapter in the Labor Day Classics on the road to the Grey Cup. Overcome by the bitter cold, there would be no Hail Mary in the Western Final against these bitter rivals. That hurts. The Stampeders suffering further indignation when the Eskimos sip from the cup in their locker room. Determined for redemption, Flutie is setting the standard again, the CFL's top quarterback. But Edmonton is still the home of the champions until further notice. Today, two former CFL greats match minds as coaches. In Hamilton, Ticat head coach Don Southern has a dilemma. Does he shelve the underachieving Rosenbach for the underrated Dillon? In Argoland, OB has his own QB problems. Kerrigan replaces Slack in a shuffle that reeks of dissension. It's the Labor Day doubleheader with all the ingredients. Labor Days in Canadian football always draw a big crowd, and take a look at this. You're looking live at McMahon Stadium, sold out for the third straight Labor Day. Autumn's in the air, and so is the anticipation of this rematch. It's the first meeting between these two teams since that blizzard of 1993, where the Eskimos outlasted the cold and the Stampeders to advance to the Grey Cup. And the weatherman's cooperating this time around. A beautiful day for football, 18 degrees, just a south wind breeze, and beautiful sunny skies all afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Lee, and welcome to McMahon Stadium here in Calgary. Well, there's never a shortage of hype for these Labor Day games, but the Stampeders have given themselves a gag order. They thought they talked too much before the Western Final, although they no doubt have been talking a lot about what might have been in that game. And then there's the Edmonton Eskimos. They come to town brandishing their brand new Grey Cup rings. What does that say? Ultimately, this game says 2 points in the standings. Here's how it could shake out. A Calgary win, they move into sole possession of first place. A Calgary loss, and they fall all the way to third place behind BC and Edmonton. But don't tell that to Doug Flutie. He suffered the memory of having to pull himself out of that Western Final with cold hands. He must be psyched up to make good here today. And how about his Edmonton counterpart? Damon Allen lost this Labor Day game 1 year ago, but that was a turning point in his career. He never lost another one, all the way to winning the Grey Cup. 1 point, though. Think about this. The loser of this Labor Day game the last 2 years has advanced to the Grey Cup. So it's still early to peak. A sobering note here as we get ready for this big contest. And for their thoughts, let's go to the broadcast booth to Chris Cuthbert and Danny Kepler.
Thanks, Mark. Good afternoon, everybody. A Labor Day in Calgary. It's the first game that we circle on the calendar every year. It's a highlight for the league, a real showcase game, and a highlight for any player who's ever played in one. And Danny Kepley's played in a few.
Well, I certainly have, Chris, and it was a date that we circled first and foremost, and just like Pavlov's dog, this morning about 5 o'clock, I woke up, my heart was beating, and you knew that that date had arrived.
And it usually was a defensive struggle when he was involved, and we anticipate that today. The top two defenses in the league are squaring off. We've heard about the two quarterbacks, but there's a couple of great quarterbacks on defense.
They really are. A.J. Alondro Johnson, as he goes right now, so goes the Calgary Stampeders. He's a big play guy. He really is instrumental, and he brings them up and makes Calgary's defense play to another level. Willie Pless, again, he has a defense from Edmonton that is based around him. He is based out there, and he is cited to make big plays, and he really does rise and does that.
Okay, if defenses dominate, then specialty teams could decide it.
Well, it does. There's going to be a lot of kicking in this game, and you got two guys right now that can really return punts for both of these guys. Marvin Coleman for Calgary has really been a great find. He has returned a kickoff already for a touchdown this year. Earlier against BC this season, he broke a 1986 record held by Gary Allen of 181 yards in punt returns.
Set an NCAA record. He's the youngster. Here's the old veteran.
I tell you what, it's the old gun against the new gun right here, and this is the old gun. He knows how to get it done. Everybody knows on Edmonton specialty team, if I make my block, there's a very good chance that the Giz can put it in the end zone.
Well, these fans have been waiting for this for 9 months, so let the hostilities begin. Mark?
Right you are, Chris. The Stampeders and Eskimos coming right up, and immediately following that game, the Ticats and Argos in our Labor Day double feature. We'll have a preview of that Eastern matchup live at the half from Scott Oak at Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Also on Live at the Half, we'll take you inside Kenny Walker's singular world of pro football. Kenny Walker, of course, patrolling the defensive line for the Stampeders and having an outstanding rookie year here in the Canadian Football League. But we're set for the kickoff. Chris, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mark. We're just about set, and Calgary is going to give us a little different wrinkle before the game starts. We have a quick change and a different uniform debuting for the black, red, and white Calgary Stampeders as they get set to accept this kick from Sean Fleming. And it will be the exciting youngster, Marvin Coleman. Little rookie nerves, but he picks it up, and Coleman picks his way over the 25 to the 27. He led the NCAA in touchdowns off kick returns last year with 13. Just a 20-yard return there. Ed Berry with the tackle. Doug Flutie leads the Calgary offense out. There were his numbers last week in a 52-3 shellacking of the Toronto Argonauts. Flutie has Flutie-like numbers again this year, but he hasn't played as much. By the end of the third quarter in convincing wins, they've gone to Steve Taylor more, so Flutie not necessarily on record-setting pace.
Certainly isn't, but again, when he's been out there, he has turned out numbers that have been like records.
Travis Moore, the newcomer on the offense, couldn't hang on there. He replaces Will Moore, who's out of this game with a finger problem, and they are giving them the catch. And the ball will be spotted at the 31, so it'll be a gain of 5. So let's set the Stampeder offense for you. Moore is the newcomer. Alan Pitts, a big difference to this Calgary offense back. He was not in last year's Labor Day or Western Final matchups because of injury. So 2nd and 5 for Doug Flutie in the offense. Flutie rolling to the right. He'll keep and have the first down. Flutie over the 40-yard line will move the yardsticks.
Very early at this time, Edmonton's defense has made some kind of mistake out there in the sense that they're going to allow Doug Flutie to break that kind of containment. Somebody from that Edmonton defense is going to have to get out and up the field and try to contain Doug Flutie.
Here is the defense. Benny Goods, number 40, has had an all-star-like year. Larry Ruck leading the CFL in tackles. First down, and they in the out to Pee-wee Smith, and he breaks it upfield near midfield before he's hit by the safety, Dan Murphy. Robert Holland also tripping up Pee-wee, who always seems to be at his best against the Edmonton Eskimos.
This is a big game for him. A lot of times through the course of the season, you don't hear very much about Pee-wee, but for some reason, in this particular game, he comes up with the big catch, the big punt return, or the big kickoff return. So he is a big threat for Calgary's offense and special teams today.
Flutie's got the offense moving early. 2 first downs on this opening drive. And he'll hand it off to Tony Stewart. Short yardage into Eskimo territory. Pickup of close to 3. But Tony Stewart is one reason Calgary believes they're a better team this year.
Well, he certainly is. He's a guy that adds that other dimension. They run the ball extremely well. This is a guy coming into this game. His last 2 games have been over 100 yards rushing. That has not happened in a long time for this particular team. And as they run the ball, it really does help to open up the throwing for Doug Flutie.
So 2nd and 7 Calgary. Out of the shotgun, Flutie has some time, and now he'll take off with it. Flutie to the sidelines, and he's knocked out of bounds by Larry Ruck. And he will be shy of the first down. And Doug showing you his frustration. He saw that first down stick, but couldn't get there because of Ruck.
Larry Ruck, this is a defense that really hasn't been built around him, but he is a garbage man. He comes up with a lot of plays, and he is leading the CFL in tackling. And this is very talented tackle right now to be able to come up one-on-one in the open field and make that tackle short of the first down against Doug Flutie.
3rd down, and Tony Martino set to punt. He has pulled it down at times in his career. In fact, he's never been stopped on a 3rd down gamble. Wonder if Wally Bono's considering it. 3rd and 2 from Edmonton side of center. Not the case. Instead, it'll be Gizmo. And great coverage by the Calgary Stampeders. First man down, Ray Biggs. No return on the 36-yard Tony Martino punt. Here's Mark Lee.
Chris, here's the story behind the Stampeder uniform change. As we mentioned off the top, this is the 3rd straight Labor Day that's sold out. The Stampeders announcing just before the kickoff that the jersey, the black jersey you see there, will be worn for just special occasions such as the Labor Day Classic. And you see the patch on the arm. In Latin it reads quid requitur. That means whatever it takes. We told you about the psych job getting ready. Everybody looking for an edge. This is part of it. Chris?
Kep, I'm glad we've got the Latin major on the sidelines because we wouldn't have known that. First down, and they try to get the ball into Gizmo's hands again. And the defense swarming Gizmo Williams, containing the gain to short yardage.
We talked at the onset of this game coming in, and they're getting their ball into the hands of people that can make plays happen. Good look at the offense, very solid. Big test for the offensive line of the Edmonton Eskimos today.
I think we'll see Eddie Brown get a lot of work today. Damon Allen has been the offense for most of the first half of the season. An extra deep back is in for Calgary on 2nd down and long yardage. Allen in the flat. Michael Souls bumped out of bounds. It'll be 2 and out for the Edmonton offense as Calgary comes up big on their first defensive series.
Greg Fears comes in as the extra defensive back. They take out Stu Laird, played the zone behind that, forced him to throw it short into the flat, and then Fears makes an excellent play of coming up on the ball.
Great linebacking core, Johnson, Pope, and Finley. Kenny Walker has really added something to their front four, and Junior Thurman back after an injury took him out of most of last year, really stabilizing the corner position. First punt from Harper. And here is Coleman from his 46, ran into his own man. Otherwise, he might have broken that for more yards. An 8-yard return on the 45-yard punt. It's Labor Day in Calgary.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 1994 Calgary Outriders, sponsored by Tropicana, pure premium orange juices, and Software Athletics. The choreography by Allison Joseph.
It's brutal when you guys are talking.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard to do, you know.
Yeah.
So you feel so. Hang Right.
Canadian Airlines is the choice of the 1994 Calgary Stampeders.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Early in the first quarter, still no score between the Stamps and the Eskimos. Boy, the newspapers sure had a field day getting this game all hyped and ready to go. And we'll tell you, the players responded just before the pregame warm-ups as both the Eskimos and the Stampeders mingled in the end zone. Push nearly came to shove, but they saved it for the game itself. Chris?
Mark, I think that's becoming a Labor Day tradition too. Last year, same circumstance as the players cross paths. Here's Alan Pitts into Edmonton territory at the 41-yard line. Flutie to Pitts. It's been a great combination again this year as Pitts comes back off knee problems a year ago.
Coach Buono just played in the great compliment about Alan Pitts, saying this is a big play guy. He is a man that I want in there, and when he does have a chance to get into these games, he makes this kind of stuff happen. Doug Flutie had all day long to throw the ball.
16 yards on that catch, puts him over 900 already for the year, on pace perhaps for over 2,000. First down, lots of time. Flutie back over the middle to Alan Pitts inside the 30. Brought down by Errol Martin. 16 the first catch, 14 there, and Calgary's threatening.
When it gets to this point here, it's not really comes down to the athlete in the game, but the competitor that's in the athlete. And when you have this guy like in Alan Pitts, there is a tremendous competitor deep inside of him.
Used to be Damon Allen's favorite target at Cal State Fullerton. Now on the other side of the ball. Here's Stewart. Not much there up the middle. He dropped the football, and the referee says the ball was blown dead. Tony Woods blocked the hole.
The thing that Edmonton has to make Doug Flutie do is to work for points. Don't give up anything big, nothing cheap, no big long plays. Make him have to drive first down after first down.
There's big Tony Woods out of Oklahoma. He and Benny Goods, number 40, really can close up the front. And an interesting matchup against the Calgary offensive line as Stewart is limping off the field after the hit from Woods. So Stewart is out of the game, and they have an extra receiver in on second down. 8 yards to go. And again, Flutie out of the shotgun. Has time, looking for Alan Pitts, and he has it inside the 5. Flutie to Pitts for the third time on the drive, this time 21 yards.
Trips to the wide side. Alan Pitts is in the slot on the weak side. The fullback came to that weak side, and Edmonton was reading that Pitts had normally been running the out pattern. This time he fakes the little out, does a juke, comes back inside Glenn Rogers Jr. The safety, Dan Murphy, just does not have enough time to get there, and it goes for a big completion.
First and goal from the 4. Zer, the lone running back. Flutie will roll. He'll keep. And Doug Flutie to the goal line, and he's stuffed there. Great play by Glenn Rogers when it looked like Flutie would get to the corner.
Good inside handoff. Really held Larry Ruck, the inside linebacker who had lined up outside over the tackle. There's the fake inside. Now he comes out all by himself. Ruck was supposed to be outside, I think, for containment. But then a great close this time by Glenn Rogers Jr. comes up and sacks Doug Flutie right on his keister short of the...
So it's second and goal from the 1. Flutie keeps, flag down. And no indication he didn't get there. And the Eskimos say they've got the football.
The ball came loose, and they are saying...
Flutie tried to reach over the line. Now wait a minute, it's going to go against Edmonton.
It's at offsides against Edmonton. Doug Flutie was trying to make a second and third and fourth effort to try
offside, Edmonton, number 38, first down.
It's Errol Martin who was called offsides. But as Doug Flutie tried to extend his body and the ball, particularly over the goal line, great surge this time by the Edmonton defense, but there's the effort. The ball actually does break the plane. You could see it from that angle. It then came loose.
So Doug conferred with the officials. He thought he'd broken the plane, and clearly it should have been a touchdown. Flutie again keeping, not much there, but he is in for the score. Doug Flutie opens the scoring in the 1994 Labor Day Classic. The 11 touchdowns rushing last year already, his 8th of 94. He got it into position with the 3 big tosses to Alan Pitts, and Flutie finished it off. Now we'll hold for Mark McLaughlin, and the Stampeders lead 7-0.
Doug Flutie lines up behind safety Doug Davies, who he's very happy to have back in there at the center position, and he gets behind Davies and Jamie Crysdale, the right guard. Look at the explosion off this Calgary offensive line, and Doug Flutie goes in with his 2nd and 3rd effort and is finally able to break the plane. It was a very late call, but he did get through. See it from the top. They're working hard. Edmonton's defense really comes off the ball. Dan Murphy comes in at a very late and barely is able to stop Doug Flutie, but not before. He's extended his arms out and breaks the plane.
I know you think we'll lean it over.
Well, Doug has not talked a lot about the Western Final. He's been asked a lot about it this week. But you had a feeling that he was as ready for this game as any he's ever played, as his first chance to get back at the Eskimos in 9 months.
Well, Coach Bono said it very appropriately yesterday. The Western Final, they had a chance to take care of business at that time. They did not take advantage of the opportunity. This is a different day, and this is a different Labor Day, and let's see what kind of team shows up today to play for Calgary.
Here's the Giz. And he's caught from behind. Big play by Junior Thurman, restricting Gizmo to a 28-yard return. Calgary's on top in the Labor Day Classic.
By Calgary's number 2, Junior Thurman.
Hey, time for free stuff. Another Stampeder Lucky Section, this time sponsored by Max Convenience Stores, home of the Freezy. Let's head down and look at the pom-pom, courtesy of Max Convenience Stores. Check out the Lucky Section on the Matrix scoreboard. 3 of them today, E, F, and G. E, F, and G, congratulations. Let's head for the rows now. This is section 93, rows E, F, and G. Here we go. Rows 1 to 20. Thanks to Max Convenience Stores. Don't forget to exchange the Coca-Cola tokens at any Max location and shake those pom-poms.
Super 7's the new big action lottery that offers you more chances to win millions of dollars. Super 7. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Calgary Stampeders, always Coca-Cola. We'd like to invite all Stampeder fans to the Children's Cottage Calgary Stampeder Annual Charity Dinner, Thursday, October 13th at the Roundup Center. Stampeder players, coaches, and special guest speaker, CFL Hall of Famer and former Stampeder Terry Evanchik will be there. Tickets are now available. Please contact the Stampeder Ticket Office for more details.
Well, it wouldn't be Labor Day in Alberta without the Eskimos, the Stamps, perfect weather, a capacity crowd at McMahon Stadium, and a tension that you can feel splitting this province in half for 1 day a year.
Somewhere around Red Deer, there's a lot of people that are really confused because they just don't know to which side to go to.
Damon Allen, the Grey Cup hero, a year ago, we chatted with him yesterday. I've never seen him more self-assured, more at ease with himself, and that goes with being a Grey Cup champion. Hands the ball off to Lucius Floyd. He's across the 35, and what a difference Lucius Floyd made in the second half last year for Edmonton.
And what a difference that a year makes for this whole team. Damon Allen, you were talking about his confidence. He came in because now he knows this year he is the #1 quarterback. He does have the show. He is in charge of this.
When we talked about the secret to success for Edmonton today, Damon said, it can't just be me. We've got to establish the running game with Souls and Floyd. And we'll see if they can do that. In the 3 straight wins over Calgary last year, the benchmark was 100 yards rushing in each of those games. Here's Williams at the 40, and he's stopped up by Kraft, and that will be shy of the first down. And Ron Lancaster's surveying, but he's come up at least a couple yards short.
Trips to the wide side of the field, and then they just double waggled the 2 backs back to the weak side. They're going to see what kind of adjustments the Calgary are going to make to this. Nothing to it. It's just just a drag kind of curl, and they're just going to throw the ball up underneath Giz. Good reaction by the Calgary defender. Douglas Kraft comes up and makes a good, solid tackle.
Harper in to punt. And again, it will be Marvin Coleman from his 26. Lightning quick. And across the 35 to the 36 for the rookie. And Calgary has possession once again with a 7-0 lead.
John Kalin, number 19 for the Edmonton Eskimos. 43 yards on the kick for Harper.
All right, time now for the AMJ Campbell move of the game. AMJ, Canada's largest mover, is proud to celebrate its 60th anniversary by sponsoring today's move of the game. 2 people sitting high in the nosebleeds in Section N will be moved to some primo seats, thanks to the official carrier of the Calgary Stampeders. And a special hello from Terry Moore to Mauricio from AMJ. You're buying dinner next after the game, so don't leave early. AMJ Campbell Van Lines, the official mover of the Calgary Stampeders.
During halftime, 7 lucky contestants over 18 will have a chance to win a trip to the Grey Cup. Don't forget to get your ballots into the ballot boxes at the AGT Mobility Information booth by the end of the first quarter, courtesy of Lotto Super 7. 7 lucky contestants will win a trip to the Grey Cup. Alberta Treasury Branches has a long history of helping Albertans. ATB's philosophy has always been to provide a full range of financial services at a reasonable cost. Discover Alberta Treasury Branches guaranteed financial services today. Chinook Laser Eye Center is proud to be the official laser eye care center for the Calgary Stampeders. Chinook Laser Eye Center in Chinook Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Mr. Huckner's box today is Premier Ralph Klein, who stays hockey here in town. We thank you for that. We think today's turnout says something about football.
It just may be the most competitive rivalry in the CFL. Just look at the last 5 Labor Day battles. Seesaw. Edmonton winning 3 of the 5. But a sobering note, as we mentioned off the top, Chris, the loser of this game the last 2 years has gone on to win the Grey Cup, and both Ron Lancaster and Wally Buono have cautioned it's too early to peak. You got to wait to November.
Hey, Ronnie, was funny yesterday, asked if there was a correlation between losing here and winning the Grey Cup. He said, if there is, we'll blow it today.
That's it. I want to lose this one and go on to the end in the Grey Cup.
First down, Stampeders, and Tony Stewart back in the game. It's a rude welcome back. Nothing up the middle. Willie Plus was there to seal any hole that Stewart may have seen.
Solid gap cancellation this time. Those big horses up front take on the big guys and just allow Willie Pless and Larry Ruck to do what they do best. Flow behind, use their speed, and once they get there, make good, solid tackles.
Just another year for Pless, 47 tackles, a couple of sacks, 5 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions. He can do it all. And it's second down and 8 to go for the Stampeders with, again, Flutie working out of the shotgun. Deep drop. Now throws off the back foot into the Eskimo bench. He just threw that away.
Throws incomplete to bring up third down.
First incompletion for Doug Flutie on the day as Ron Lancaster gets his way and gets the 2-and-out situation he wants to see from his defense a lot today.
This is what he would really like to do, and he said, I need to try to confuse Doug Flutie and somehow by alignment so that he doesn't get a pre-snap read on what kind of defense we in. Because as soon as he has that, as soon as he takes the snap, he knows where he's going to go with the ball. Now what he does, if he can get him confused somehow, make him hold on to the ball just a little longer, then the Edmonton defense has a chance to put him on the ground.
Under 4 minutes to go, first quarter at a sold-out McMahon Stadium. Stampeders with a 7-0 lead as Martino does pull it down. And now, after the run, kicks it away to Gizmo Williams at his 20. And once again, they're downfield to meet him. Marvin Coleman, Gizmo's counterpart, the return star for the Stampeders, makes the big tackle.
when you play against great athletes, it challenges you to rise to another level, and this is what this specialty team does. Coach Bono said yesterday, he said, I have challenged my special teams and given them more responsibility, and they have risen to that occasion. Here, you can see Martino tries to take a look if he's going to run, but all of a sudden, at the last minute, Trent Brown comes in there and takes a look at it, pulls it down, and has the presence of mind to kick the ball away.
Allen and the Eskimo offense have started in a hole through most of this first quarter. First down, 22, flag down. Allen on a roll, dumps it off, and Michael Soul steps out of bounds, but it looked like some early movement on that Eskimo offense.
Illegal procedure against Edmonton, exactly. It's very important for Damon Allen. He's got to come in there and try to run this ball significantly enough that it's going to set up his play fakes. You can see the left leg of Damon Allen pulls out from behind Rod Knupp.
Number 9, first down, repeated 5-yard penalty.
Pulls out from behind the center, Rod Knupp, and he's called right there on the spot.
Looked like he was checking off at the line, changed the play.
Well, I don't know if he did, but if he does, he was doing that as soon as he walked up to the line of scrimmage, because when he got up there, he was expecting a quick snap, and it just did not come fast enough for him.
First and 15 for the Eskimos. 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Short drop, and now he rolls deeper and throws, and Eddie Brown was being held up on the play. That was intended for Brown, but dropped in front of the Eskimo bench about 20 yards away.
Edmonton feels that the key to their success today, two things primarily: the running of Lucius Floyd, but also Eddie Brown has got to rise to another level and play a great game.
Second and 15 from the 17.
That was Matt Finley applying the rush, and it looks like Damon cracked the hand over the helmet of Finley. Now looking for Lucius Floyd, incomplete, and it will be third down. So Ron Lancaster's offense a little slow out of the gate.
This is the one thing the Calgary's defense has done extremely well this year. 2 and out, keep the people down in their own end, making them punt, but the return guys have really created great field position so that Doug Flutie starts first and 10 on a short field. And if you give Doug Flutie enough opportunities on a short field to get it in for 6, he'll score a lot of points on you.
High kick by Harper, and it sails into the Eskimo bench, and now we've got a little extra going on. Douglas Kraft was in the midst of it. Junior Thurman there for Calgary. Quickly separated from the Eskimos. And a flag did fly after the shoving exchange. 41-yard punt by Harper with no return.
This is a gang fight. They come down here and there is a tremendous amount of pride that's at stake.
That's
John setting unnecessary roughness. 19 Edmonton and 3 Calgary. First down.
19 Edmonton is John Kalin. He's a Calgary boy out of the University of Calgary, playing on the other side today. Interesting position.
First down and 10 for the Stampeders at the Calgary 51.
Yep, field position's been a story here in this first quarter. It's been a shorter field for Doug Flutie and the Calgary offense.
You give Doug Flutie first and 10 like they're doing right now on the 52, he makes a lot of things happen.
Lots of time now. Flag goes down, and Flutie doesn't get the ball downfield. Sapungis, the intended receiver, Leroy Blue bearing in on Flutie.
Look for holding against Calgary.
Also a flag.
Coach Lancaster happened to mention that Woods and Goods inside are just playing like a great tandem pair.
Calgary number 60, first down, repeated 10-yard penalty.
Just the second time in his career Bruce Coverton has been called for holding.
The big tuna laid a big fin on somebody and just drug him right out of the water and drug him down.
When you're
Good swim move this time by Leroy Blue to try to get inside of Coverton, using his speed and his quickness, and Big Bruce just grabs him and tackles him right down.
Third year for Coverton. His first holding call was July 16th this year against Baltimore. Twice in a year. First down over, and now over the middle, and it's Dave Sapunjas into Edmonton territory. Dropped at the 48. Sapunjas with his first catch. Had a couple of touchdowns last week in his hometown of Toronto. 20-yard pickup for number 25.
This would be one of those kind of games that Dave really wants to rise up to the challenge, because historically he hasn't had his greatest games against Edmonton on Labor Day. This case, he gets matched up one-on-one against Willie Pless, and that'll be a mismatch that I can guarantee you that Doug Flutie will want to see again, and he will go to Sapunjas quite often.
Second and less than a yard for Flutie. He'll hand it off, and Stewart may have dropped the football. Eskimos saying the ball was down, but I think Stewart's got the first down. Well, Stewart with a couple of 100-yard rushing games coming in, but the Eskimos are sealing that middle so far on Stewart. He hasn't been able to break loose. But he is the first big running threat since that gentleman who you chased for a few years.
I tell you what, I chased him for a lot of years. Willie Burden is from Raleigh, North Carolina. I played high school ball against him. I played university ball and professional ball against Willie. I got really tired of chasing Willie, strictly from the point of view that the scenery wasn't that good of what I was seeing.
Quickly into the flat. And this is Travis Moore, the newcomer. That's his first CFL catch. Check that, his second. He had a short pickup in the first play of the game. There is a flag down.
Ed Berry, number 13, was the tackle.
Neil Payne sorting it out with 9 seconds to go in this first quarter. Very much like last year's Labor Day Classic, when the Eskimos had just 14 total yards of offense in the first 15 minutes.
Doug being very methodical about his play selection, trying to throw those quick hitches to get...
Offside, Edmonton 26, first down repeated, 1st and 5.
Glenn Rogers was coming on the halfback blitz, but jumped the gun by a step offside. So it will be 1st and 5 for Flutie and company. And this should be the last play of the first quarter. Again, it's Stewart, and Willie Pless hits him hard. Goods hit him low, and again, Stewart is being held up. Rogers and Pitts behind the scene had something going. And that is the end of the opening quarter here in the 1994 Labor Day Classic. It was a good one for the Stampeders. Doug Flutie with the touchdown. They lead 7-0.
Against the Thurman.
This one will make your parents go up. Let's make some real noise! And watch for the survey during the game, giving away February 2 coupon. Triple birthdays here today. Happy birthday to Richard and Lynn sitting in section G1. And to Rob and Phil Verushka, who are celebrating their 3rd day of a Ukrainian wedding. Welcome to the ballpark.
The Stampeders and Irene Bessie keyboards present your chance to sing the national anthem for the final home game October 30th. See the Singers Connection booth in the East Concourse for details. Visit Sunridge Mall, the dominant shopping center in Northeast Calgary, with over 165 stores and services for your convenience. You're going to like it, Sunridge Mall. Las Vegas Discount Golf and Tennis is a proud sponsor of the Calgary Stampeders, and the Las Vegas Discount Golf and Tennis trip for 2 to Vegas. Enter to win at the Las Vegas Discount Golf and Tennis location across from the stadium, just to the south of the LRT walkover. Huskies proud to support Stampeder football in Calgary, and Husky invites you to be a winner. Happy the Husky announces the top dog prize. If you are in section L, row 11, seat 2, you've just won 100 liters of Husky gas. Please report to the AGT Mobility Information booth in the Southwest Concourse to pick up your prize. Section L, row 11, seat 2, along with the gas, a miniature stuffed Happy the Husky dog.
Capacity capacity crowd, McMahon Stadium, over 37,000 on hand, and most of them liked what they saw in the first quarter. Calgary with a 7-0 lead, a 6-play, 57-yard drive that took 4:11 off the clock and was capped by the Doug Flutie 1-yard quarterback sneak for the touchdown. And now Calgary with the football again. Second short yardage at the Edmonton 40-yard line. And again, it's Stewart. And Larry Ruck was there to stop Stewart again. Boy, it's been tough sledding for Stewart. I'm not sure he got to that first down marker.
Larry Ruck really close hard in the hole, and he got a hand on him, but he just got an arm, and Stewart was able to slide to the inside and lean and fall forward. And when he did fall, he may have fallen far enough to pick up that first down, but it will be extremely close.
Now, yesterday, Ron Lancaster said, you know, Larry Ruck's a throwback to those old-style linebackers. Was he talking about you?
No, he's a much better athlete than I ever thought about being. But the compliment to him is he is leading the team in tackles in a passing league, and he's doing a terrific job, and he is not involved in passing that much. 3rd and inches, Flutie keeps, and he'll have it.
Doug Flutie, number 20, burrows his way through the line for a Stampeder first down.
Stampeder drive will continue. As they unpile, we'll check the first quarter statistics. No first downs for the Eskimos. Well, they did 1 yard better than a year ago. 15 net yards. I mentioned last year, 14 in the first quarter for the Eskimo offense.
And take a look at the time of possession. 10:57 for Calgary to 4:03 for Edmonton. As long as Doug Flutie has the ball in his hands, he can make so many things happen.
Well, that's the 9th first down now for Calgary, and Flutie goes to work. Low throw, almost picked off by Willie Pless. The intended receiver was Alan Pitts.
The intended for number 18, Alan Pitts. Willie Pless, number 39, had a shot at it for the Eskimos.
The one thing that Coach Stubler, the defensive coordinator of Edmonton, was talking to me about, said what we need to do is make Flutie hold the ball a little longer than normal, but throw the ball before he's ready to throw it. And that looked like a precise time where they had Doug Flutie right where they wanted and forced him to throw a little bit before he was ready and before he had his feet set.
Good first quarter numbers for Flutie, but he's got 11 quarters against Edmonton without a touchdown pass. Throwing for Moore, and he's out of bounds, could not make the catch.
Flutie's pass incomplete along the sideline.
Moore has been with the Stampeders since the start of training camp in his CFL debut. And not a bad way to break yourself into the league here on Labor Day.
Doug's just giving the head right there, and all the defenders are making a break right now toward the ball because they can see the ball is thrown up high. Ed Berry, good solid coverage inside, knows that he's got that play made. The ball has to be thrown outside and out of bounds. Excellent play by Ed Berry.
So Mark McLaughlin on to attempt a 43-yarder. Doug Flutie is the holder this year. Spots it down, and McLaughlin just has enough, just over the bar. And he's now 16 for 18 on the year.
The Edmonton Eskimos, no score.
So the Calgary Stampeders up their lead to 10-0.
And that's another football for the stadium school section.
And going back to the stats that we just saw in that first quarter, Coach Lancaster and the Eskimos have to consider themselves, I think, fairly lucky to only be behind by 10 points.
A complete sellout. 37,000.
Wally Bonner wanting to make sure that the Stampeders capitalize on this early domination, because they dominated the Western Final last year at the half, but had just a slim lead. And I think Wally spent much of the winter thinking about the chances that his team let go by in that Western Final first half.
He challenged his players and put them in a position that they have to rise to this occasion and to play 60 solid minutes of football. And if that takes place, then the outcome will be in their favor.
McLaughlin kicking it off, and it is Gizmo at his 21. Gizmo gets outside, but there's no room there.
Number 2,
And he's shoved out at the 41-yard line. A 20-yard return for Henry Williams as we rejoin Mark Lee.
Well, Chris, the Stampeder offense has been regaled for its quicksilver ability to score points, but what about this defense? This is something new. The Stampeders also on top of the CFL in points against, just 16 so far this season. That's just one touchdown a game against. I was talking to Alondra Johnson and Junior Thurman a few moments ago before they took the field. They say they're out to get to Damon Howland and hit him on every play. That's how they're going to try to shut down this Eskimo offense. Chris?
Well, the Stamps ranked number 1 in yards allowed. There's Big Will Johnson getting the paws up and knocking the ball down. 6'5", 245 pounds, a 3-time All-Canadian.
Damon tries to come out and he sprints to the short side, stops. Now he wants to throw back to the weak side, to the wide side of the field. And when he does, Will Johnson is getting blocked by Lucius Floyd. He's taller than Lucius, so he can see over top of him, and he can get his hands up quickly and get a good view of the ball, and he was able to knock that down.
Allen's 3 for 6, 12 yards in the game, 2nd and 10. Good protection, the throw and a completion near the first down, and that's Mike Lee, who's replacing Jim Sandusky. And Lee comes up with a big first down of 12 yards for the Eskimos. Let's talk a little bit about Jim Sandusky and what they miss when he's not in the lineup.
They miss an extra coach on the field. This guy is so talented and such a good teacher. He recognizes a lot of things, and he's able to help both the quarterback and the receiving corps learn about the defenses that are being run against them.
That's the first down of the football game for the Eskimos, and they go with a hurry-up offense here. 3 receivers left side. Allen rolling to the right. There's Eddie Brown. Nice catch. And his momentum took him out of bounds. Otherwise, he may have been able to break that.
That could be just the kind of catch that Eddie Brown needs to get him involved in this football game. Damon Allen did an excellent job of the counter trap, and he's going to fake it and then come out wide. And this time, Eddie Brown looks like he's going to come down, stalk a player, make a block. Now he's just going to fake out to the flat, but a good, solid effort. Great concentration with the left hand.
Again, kept no huddle for the Eskimos. 5 receivers to the left side.
They cleared out the zone. They got Eddie Brown at the top, all by himself, one-on-one.
And Allen thought about the quarterback sneak, but that draw play didn't work because of Strekos Izakovic.
Number 96,
You have to think right now as a defensive lineman, as soon as you know that empty backfield set is there, there's only one guy that can carry the mail, so key on Damon Allen, and that's exactly what they did. They didn't pin their rears back and rush up the field very quickly playing the pass. Streko was able to come there, fall back inside, and make a good solid defensive play.
Allen 5th in rushing in the CFL, coming into the game with 484 yards. 2nd and 10. Eskimos' first drive of the game. Airing it out, looking for Eddie Brown, and he can't run underneath it. Doug Kraft was covering on Brown. David was lamenting yesterday that they've been unable to really spring Eddie Brown deep on a regular basis this year. Nevertheless, the offense that sputtered through the first quarter shows signs of life, and they get it into Sean Fleming range for a field goal attempt.
Take a look. There's nobody in the backfield. Everybody is over here. Eddie Brown is right here. All he's going to do is streak right down the field. They get the one-on-one after they cleared out the zone. Damon Allen has time to throw the ball, but there's just excellent coverage by Kraft this time.
45-yard attempt by Fleming. He had plenty to spare. That matches his longest of the season. 45 yards. Eskimos are on the board with 4:40 gone, second quarter. It's now Calgary 10, Edmonton 3.
Now down to a field host, Jerry Ford.
All right, time out for Mohawk Oil touchdown timeout. Let's have a big hand for our 3 Mohawk winners. Dave St. Martin, Bruce McDonald, and Dick Metcalf. They're competing for $200 worth of gas. Mohawk ethanol on the gasoline from Mother Nature's gas station. Got to throw it through the hoop here. Here we go. Losers get dunked in the grease pit and put up on the hoist. 2. Here we go. Oh! Oil. Close but no cigar. Each contestant receives $25 worth of Mohawk Blended gasoline from Mother Nature's gasoline station. Thanks very much and enjoy the rest of the game courtesy of Mohawk Oil. We'd like to thank Mohawk for being a proud sponsor of the Calgary Stampeders. Hey, let's hear for old Stamp!
It's a golden opportunity at the golden elections for any of those things. 6-13. You can see the Cougar Stampeders goal. He did the warm-up with the team and sit with them on the bench in the first quarter. More details from the local McDonald's. Or from Calgary 7 Scoop on the Cougar Stampeder is Adam Hassiuk today. Wait for the crowd, Adam. Canadian Airlines is the choice of the 1994 Stampeders. Canadian Airlines is proud to fly to the game of indoor tournament. After all, there is no substitute for the competitive spirit.
There's the score, and there's Jim Sandusky, who just underwent back surgery last week. He spent the first quarter up in the press box. He's like another assistant coach for the Eskimos. He'll confer with Damon Allen. You saw him just a few moments ago talking to Eddie Brown and what an asset Sandusky is to this team.
He made a great analogy. He says, you know, if you play your buddy next door and you play him for a whole year one-on-one in basketball and you win half and you lose half, go back and do the same things that you do to win. And that's what Damon Allen has to do, and that's what Sandusky is telling him. Do the things that you've won before with that you're comfortable with.
Here's a guy that can play basketball, a little bit of football too. Doug Flutie skipping over the 40 to the 45-yard line. And he is close to a first down.
With the carry for the Stampeders.
Doug Flutie talked about that he's not running the ball nearly as much as he did possibly last year, but what he is getting at the times that he does run it, bigger things are happening. He's run it 47 times coming into this game for 7 touchdowns already this season.
Robert Holland just tripped him up. Flutie has rushed for 30 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown so far. It's 2nd and a yard. The pitch to Stewart. Little room outside, and he drops the football. Edmonton has it. Tony Stewart fumbles the football away, and after the field goal, the Eskimos get a big turnover and a chance to get right back in the game. It's Leroy Blue out of Bishop's University with the turnover for Edmonton.
Had an opportunity just to chat very briefly with Leroy right before this game started in the pregame warm-up, and he was so pumped up for this game, wanted to make sure that he got his hands on the ball out there somehow today. The option plays coming down. Edmonton doesn't play the bitch guy. Tony Stewart has an excellent coverage, but right at the last minute, Robert Holland comes in, gets his helmet right on the ball, knocks it loose, and good pursuit by Leroy Blue allowed him to make that recovery.
All right, you saw Sandusky with his input. Let's see what Allen calls here. Guns it to Eddie Brown. And Brown stopped at the 44-yard line. Marvin Pope, the middle linebacker, Big Daddy with the tackle. A little steamed this week because last year in the Western Final, there were Eskimos unnamed who had the audacity, apparently, to call him Big Mama.
It would be from a distance, I think. You know, probably about 47 rows up, because this man can make a lot of things happen, and he can hurt you when he gets there.
Marvelous Marvin Pope.
2nd down at 3 at the 44.
Won the job at middle linebacker, I think, because of the Eskimos' ability to run the football. He's a great run linebacker. Michael Souls powering his way over the 40-yard line, and that should be a first down, Edmonton.
Edmonton's offensive line is somewhat sputtered this year. I don't think they've been quite as solid, both in the rushing techniques and their pass blocking as they have in the past. But this is the kind of game that challenges you to rise to that occasion and have some pride and show some real serious respect out there and go get the job done.
Well, they've got guys that can do that. 13-year veteran Rod caught up as the center. Quick hitter over the middle. Incomplete. Lucius Floyd, the intended receiver. And Alondra Johnson has some words for Floyd. Johnson and Pope will talk to you when you're in their area.
They may go back and they could rival guys like James West and Tyrone Jones as far as trash talking is concerned in the CFL. They are very good. The great thing about it, when they talk it, they walk it.
2nd and 10, so Marvin Pope comes out. The extra deep back is Marvin Coleman. And the ball tipped at the line. It's picked off. Gerald Vaughn with the interception. So after the turnover by the Stampeders, they get it right back. Vaughn had 2 interceptions last year against the Eskimos, and he has one on Labor Day.
And intercepted by number 38, Gerald Vaughn. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome now the 1994 Edmonton Eskimo cheer team. Give me more.
Check, okay.
Congratulations to Roy Flancour, who's watching the game from field level right now. Roy's the RCR quarterback for today. Entered his name at Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery. And now Roy and his 3 friends are enjoying the game from Lazy Boy Recliners in the end zone. You can be an RCR quarterback too. Just send your name.
Gerald Vaughn gets his 3rd interception, but that's the man that made it happen. Strickles Zizakovic.
At 6'5", the defense lineman knows, get your bull rush. Once you know that you're not going to get any closer to the quarterback, get your hand up. And Strecko does, tips the ball, and Gerald Vaughn does an excellent job of coming up on the tip trail, picking off the interception, and giving Doug Flutie again great field position.
Calgary has the football at the Edmonton 54-yard line. Flutie throwing complete. Pitts at the 41. And Alan Pitts has been the favorite target so far today, as he has been all year long.
Possession drives, he can beat you running the ball, passing the ball, running the ball himself. Doug Flutie has been just very methodical and absolute surgeon-like in his play selection. Halfback blitz.
Picked up by the Stamps. There's Stewart in the flat, spins off Ruck, but
Tony Stewart, number 21.
The defense of the Eskimos surrounds Stewart to limit the gain.
Melvin Hunter, number 46,
Melvin Hunter came across to help Larry Ruck and make the stop.
There, number 13, Ed Berry.
Halfback blitz coming by Glenn Rogers Jr. at the top of the screen. But Melvin Hunter does an excellent job of reacting to the football.
2nd down and 6 after the short gain to Stewart. Flutie 8 of 11 now, 104 yards. Good time. Has a wide open receiver. That's Brian Wiggins with his first catch. And the Stampeders are on the move again. 5:45 to go. First half. 10-3 Calgary, and the Stamps knocking at the door again.
Hurry up offense by Doug Flutie. He doesn't want to get this Edmonton defense, let them get their calls set. He's doing an excellent job of really marching this ball down the throats of the Edmonton defense.
Again out of the shotgun. Flutie looking for Pence. Alan Pence near the goal line, lunging but held out. Oh, what a force he has been in this first half.
John Wilson, number 20, Robert Hall.
5 of the 8 games this year, he's had over 100 yards receiving, and he's bound for that again.
Doug Flutie, when he lines up in that shotgun, he lines up 3 or 4 yards deeper, about 10 yards, and it buys a little extra time. And Alan Pitts comes down, finds the zone, turns around, then he just all of a sudden is wide open. Doug Flutie again has plenty of time to throw the ball to him. Fights like crazy to try to get it across the goal line, but just comes up a little short. 5 receptions for 80 yards already in this game.
Well, as Wally Buono yesterday, how much did you miss him in the Western Final as they attend to Errol Martin of the Eskimos? And he said, you really don't realize how badly you miss a guy like Pitts until that type of game, because he does have a commanding presence. And so far, it's been like a magnet, Flutie to Pitts in this first half this afternoon.
When he lines up in there, it makes you change your whole philosophy about defense. He really demands respect from the secondaries.
And while saying that, Flutie has utilized 6 different receivers already, so he's mixed it up. But he can rely on Pitts in the clutch.
That's the great thing about this Calgary offense, is the sense that from a defensive perspective, you don't know who to roll up on and double cover at any time because he spreads it across the board.
First and goal. Give to Stewart. Touchdown. They've nicknamed him Touchdown Tony. 9th rushing touchdown. He has 3 in the air and leads the CFL with 12 majors already.
Just give it to him deep, and he takes off from about the 3-yard line and sails across the goal line.
Little confidence boost for him after the fumble on the last Calgary series. McLaughlin adds the extra point. 4:31 to go first half, and after the interception by Gerald Vaughn, the Calgary Stampeders capitalized.
Doug Flutie showing another great quality. He knew that probably that Stewart was very disappointed, obviously, about that fumble. What he does, he comes back to him right in a crucial play, give it to him, and lets him redeem himself and gain some confidence back in himself. Take a good look, set deep, hands it at about the 4-yard, takes off and leaps into the end zone. Willie Pless has an opportunity to make good contact with him, but not before he breaks the plane of the goal.
On pace to become the first 1,000-yard rusher for the Stampeders since Gary Allen in '86. There's the scoring drive, capped by the Stewart plunge. And on that drive, Doug Flutie was 4 for 4, 54 yards. Gizmo Williams has had a workout on kickoffs in this first half. Looking for that one seam, but the Stamps strung it out. Gerald Vaughn finished it up. An 8-yard return. And the Eskimos in a hole late in the first half.
Hey, you guys having fun? Let's see you back here in 2 weeks for Las Vegas. And hey, you lucky bombs, AGT Mobility and QI77 are giving away a starting of fun right now. Who will be the receiver of this great receiver? Well, whoever makes the most noise in Section U. Section U will scoop the ground and get a chance to call the people.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll. Make some noise, Calgary. How about those Stamps?
The house of your dreams awaits you. Now, you've got to find a mortgage. Call Laurentian Bank of Canada, a new supporter of the CFL and your Calgary Stampeders. Laurentian Bank will offer you good advice, flexibility, and variety. AGT Mobility is pleased to announce HomeLink, an emergency message service for Stampeder fans. Leave this number at home. It's 540-2377. If you're needed during a Stampeder game, an AGT Mobility volunteer will bring the message to your seat. Page Direct is your communications superstore at 291-5400. Pro-Am offers one-stop shopping for ATV accessories. Pro-Am Motorcycles. Where the ride's the destination. Visit Retro Sports Center's largest indoor selection of powerboats, Mercury, and Merc Cruiser products. a proud sponsor of the Calgary Stampeders.
What a costly interception that turned out to be for the Eskimos, who trailed Calgary 17-3 late in the second quarter. Eskimo center Rod Knopp could be heard exhorting his fellow offensive lineman on the sidelines to start cut blocking that tall Stampeder defensive line to give Damon Allen a chance to throw better passes. We'll see what happens. Chris?
Eskimos are first and 10.
An offensive line of Connaught, Groenwagen, Dumoretz, Dermott, and Morris. First down, Edmonton. And Lucius Floyd off the right side across the 30-yard line.
Tripped up by number 75, Stu Laird.
The old veteran inside, Stu Laird, had an excellent job. He is one of those guys. He's not real flashy out there. He is just consistent. And he has been doing that type of consistency for 10 years in the Calgary D-line.
Ron Lancaster wanted his team to grind out some tough yards, keep the ball away from Doug Flutie, but it hasn't worked out that way, as you can see so far in the first half. Allen in the flat. There's Brown skipping out of bounds with a first down. And you can see that Eddie Brown really is the centerpiece of this Eskimo offense when it is working.
Here's a chance now. They're going to get the safety out of there, and actually Greg Knox, and then the halfback, Gerald Vaughn on that side, going to slide back into the middle. Damon reads that extremely well, goes to the one-on-one with Brown against Kraft, made an excellent throw, and Eddie Brown made a great catch.
Brown normally an inside receiver, but as you can see, he is lined up as a wideout. A little bad exchange there between Allen and Souls, and no hole for Souls to go through.
As soon as Damon Allen came out of there, he made the turn, and he and Souls ran right into one another and just disrupted the rhythm.
Vision's very important on and off the field, and that's why the Stampeders trust Chinook Laser Eye Centers for all their laser eye care needs. Chinook Laser Eye Centers in Chinook.
Just 14 yards rushing so far for the Eskimos. We mentioned the benchmark for them usually is over 100 against Calgary. 3:01 to go here in the first half at McMahon.
Molson Canadian, 15 pack cartons are now available from Molson. We'd like to invite you to the Children's Cottage Calgary Stampeder Annual Charity Dinner Thursday, October 13th at the Roundup Center. Stampeders players and coaches, along with a very special guest speaker, former Stampeder and CFL Hall of Famer Terry Edmonton. The date again is October 13th. Tickets now available at the Stampeder ticket office.
And maybe the interception by Vaughn with the tip. I love that term. No, not in 12 quarters. Well, the usual bus loads are down from Edmonton, but they're getting out-cheered right now by the bulk of this crowd that cheering on the Calgary Stampeders with a 14-point lead in the final 3 minutes of the first half at McMahon Stadium. Second down for the Eskimos, 8 yards to go, and Damon Allen and company would feel a whole lot better if they could get some more points on the board before the half. As you can see, movement was the Calgary defense drawn, yes.
Quick movement by Stu Laird, who reacted against Chris Morris, and they called the illegal procedure, I think, against the right tackle, Chris Morris.
Stu actually lined up as an offensive lineman a little earlier this season.
Illegal procedure, Edmonton 59, second down repeated.
That was the inside. That's Leo Groenwagen on the inside guard on the right-hand side.
8-year veteran out of UBC. Ron Lancaster putting in some miles at the Eskimo bench. 2nd and 13, and Allen looking for Eddie Brown. Just let him astride too far.
It's tough enough to play this Calgary defense when you got 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4, but when you lined up and you got 2nd and 14, 2nd and 10, it makes it really tough, and these guys get after you and they get in your face. You had Eddie Brown in between Kraft and also Gerald Vaughn, who was going over top in the deep third. He had a little bit of a seam, but he let the ball sail out of bounds on him.
2:41 to go. First half, and Harper to punt it away. It'll be Pee Wee Smith. He had 2 kick returns for touchdowns in '91, and he's across the 40. Michael Souls, Errol Martin are there. 17-yard return for Smith, who always seems to play his best against the green and gold. Well, Ron Lancaster, his worst fears so far in this first half have been realized. This offense has not been able to keep the ball away from Doug Flutie.
Well, that's it. He felt that this defense had a chance to go out there, maybe confuse Doug Flutie somewhat. They've had a chance to corral him a bit, but they certainly have not been successful. Take a look at these records between these two coaches.
Wally Bono, the winningest coach in the 90s in the Canadian Football League. Flutie on the run, and Brian Wiggins held on. Took a hit from Dan Murphy, the safety, but Wiggins will move the yardsticks.
Wiggins having an opportunity to start with the finger fracture to Will Moore, and these receivers know the fact that if Doug Flutie gets in trouble, search right now, go find an open spot, get open somehow, because Doug Flutie will deliver the ball to you.
Now the Stampeders operating without a huddle. Although plenty of time for Doug Flutie to do damage. Maybe he's thinking about another series after this. Dave Sapunjas has his 2nd catch of the afternoon.
It's David Sapunjas, number 25. With the catch.
Sapunjas shut out in one game last year against the Eskimos. Just 9 catches in the 4 games against Doug Flutie and company. And again, with no huddle, the Stampeders offense going to work at the Edmonton 51-yard line. Flutie 12 for 15 now, 159 yards. Textbook first half against a good defense. In the flat, and it did hit the ground. No catch for Travis Moore.
A little bit short, incomplete.
And Flutie a little upset with himself.
Doug Flutie had the out pattern there, and he just threw the ball short, and it skipped to Travis Moore. Right at the last minute, Travis Moore tries to get his hands down low. You can't really see it from that angle. I would call that a catch from this angle, but you just can't see what happened.
3rd down 3, and Flutie comes off the field. And here's Tony Martino, who showed run earlier in this game. Surveying the Eskimos, who are no doubt wary of Martino's ability to pull it down and run. Gizmo, the lone man back. Here goes Gizmo, got a block. And a big tackle there by Alondra Johnson. He says he can run anybody down, while he just made a huge tackle on Gizmo Williams. The return just 13 yards. If Johnson doesn't get him, he might have got 100.
He was behind the wall, and he had plenty of blockers in front of him, but as we spoke in the opening, this guy plays, and he is inspirational out there. Gibbs makes a couple of good moves. He does an excellent job of making the first 1 or 2 guys always miss him. Now here's where he's got the wall set up. Pless is there for a block, but AJ is going to have nothing to do with it. And when he gets there, he takes him down with a little authority and lets him know, you're not going anywhere, big guy.
First down, Eskimos. Lucius Floyd, nothing up the middle with 1:34 to go, first half. Boy, Sreko Zizakovic has had a big first half.
Been tremendously instrumental. He has shut down this rushing attack by Edmonton, and therefore it puts them in 2nd and long situations quite often. Then they have an opportunity to pin their heads back and their ears back and get upfield and get in Damon Allen's face.
Sreko will take a break. An extra DB is in. That's Greg Frears on 2nd and long. Allen throwing for Lee, wide open. Across midfield, cuts it back outside. And Mike Lee has the Eskimos' biggest gain of the game. Down inside the 35.
For the Edmonton Eskimos.
Best field position that the Eskimos have had after the 51-yard pass and run play from Allen to Lee.
Good solid blocking up front, and Lee just goes right down the seam, and it's an excellent throw by Damon Allen. Then this is what is really inspirational, is to see what he can do after he catches the ball. Coach Lancaster was really going into this game not sure what the capabilities of this guy was, and he got a chance to see his mark right there.
Here's Gizmo Williams, and he's swarmed under at the 29-yard line.
Takes it to the 30-yard line.
Gain of close to 6. But the 51-yard gain by Lee has given the Eskimos a spark here with now under a minute to go in the first half. Utah State, he was the prime receiver for Anthony Cavillo, the rookie quarterback for the Las Vegas Posse.
And a coach that we knew as a quarterback in the CFL, Charlie Weatherby, is the head coach there, along with Jim Zorn.
Damon Allen has Jay Christensen for a first down. At the 18-yard line, the Eskimo drive continues. 36 seconds on the clock. And a former Stampeder moves the yardsticks.
Jay Christensen, a guy that you just really don't suspect to come out and do a lot, but he's the guy that can hurt you. He's a very sure-handed receiver. Comes down, reads extremely well, sets in the zone, makes the big catch.
Allen, quick hitter, Lucius Floyd to the 5, and that's another Eskimo first down. Kenton Leonard with the tackle, but Floyd flying out of the backfield.
Here's just a quick hot run, but here's the point that Marvin Pope, the middle linebacker, just came underneath that. Damon Allen was able to just throw the ball right over his outstretched hands.
From the 5, first and touchdown to go. Allen with time into the end zone, and Mark Tobert couldn't catch up with the football. Well, we talked about Doug Flutie's ability to mix it up. Damon Allen now has gone to 6 different receivers. Tobert brings that one down. It would have been number 7.
Out of that 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, Tobert was the 3rd guy inside, and he ran just the post corner, but they looked like some really serious confusion out there between Eddie Brown and Gizmo trying to figure out where to end up in the pass route.
Yep, big play. 10 seconds to go. Down by 2 touchdowns. It's 2nd and goal from the 5. Allen with great protection.
Hits the goalpost.
It's been that kind of first half.
And he thought Streko Zizakovic was tall. Wait till you try to throw past that goalpost.
I thought Eddie Brown was open short, and Damon threw it deep into the end zone, or at least tried to.
He was coming back to the post corner again, deep.
Eddie Brown hit the goalpost, and then it's 3rd down.
Tough break.
And a field goal time for the Eskimos.
It's very disappointing when you had the play called and the play was working, and all you had to do was deliver the ball out there, and somehow that goalpost got in the way.
Sean Fleming from the 12. He splits the uprights.
The Stampeders 17.
And the
Eskimos
second
6.
field goal of the first half for the Eskimos. It's 17-6 for Calgary. Well, Ron Lancaster can take consolation, though, that the offense had its best drive on its final possession of this first half.
Gives them some big momentum going into the halftime, something very positive to talk about, and they did come away with at least 3 points.
Now Wally Buono, who is the coach of the linebackers, confers with his defensive captain, Matt Finley.
Stampeders will scrimmage at their own 35-yard line.
Should be the last play of the first half. And Flutie will kill the clock. Good half for Doug Flutie and the Calgary Stampeders. They have an 11-point lead as we join Mark Lee.
Chris, that's why they call it the Labor Day Classic. It's still anybody's football game as the Stampeders lead by 11. Stay tuned. Live at the half is next when we come back. here.
Okay, as planned.
10 and 15
on camera. Right, this is animation now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What a Scott.
Because some of the boxes have other prizes on it. One last thing. This contest will officially be declared.
Welcome to Live at the Half, where the Stampeders lead the Eskimos by 11 here at McMahon Stadium. Right after this game, we'll switch you live to Hamilton and part 2 of our Labor Day doubleheader. The Argonauts and the Tiger Cats, 2 teams struggling in midseason. And for a preview of that big game, let's go to Iverwin Stadium now and Scott Oak.
Mark, in a couple of hours, the stands here at Iverwin Stadium will be fuller than they've been for some time because this is homecoming day for Hamilton Tiger Cat fans. Here are the elements. It's Labor Day, we're in Hamilton, and we await a visit by the Toronto Argonauts. They all add up to a classic, and it doesn't often disappoint.
Between cities, different classes, especially the proletariat bourgeoisie conflict is renewed each year, and it should be exciting. It always has been, and I think it always will be.
Slack throws over the net.
We don't expect that we're going to win this one just because we've been successful in the past. You got to make it happen.
Tokyo's got number 5 now.
Our big rival, we've been doing it for a lot of years now. I'm looking forward to kicking some Hamilton butt.
Pinball Clemens looking for some blocking help. He gets it.
We're going to do our best to get it done and definitely come after them and come after them with everything we got.
Cannonball and Benson combined to bring him down, and that will be the second sack of the evening for Mike Campbell.
It's not just a game for these people. You know, you're playing a city, and it's bragging rights as compared to Hamilton and Toronto. They got the Jays, they got the basketball, they've got everything. We've got our little town 45 minutes away, and we got our cats, and that's what we live on. And we're just as good as the city of Toronto. And I think that's what makes it a big game, not just on the field.
Well, those in the big city, 45 minutes east of here, may become a bit blasé about this rivalry, but believe me, in Hamilton, it is still a big deal. And the Ticats almost always win this game by 2 points last year and by 3 the year before that. The Argos have to go all the way back to 1987 to recall their last win in Hamilton on Labor Day. So the Argos and Ticats should be a fitting end to our classic Labor Day on CBC Sports. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Scott, and keep your head up down on the sidelines at Iverwin. As you know, those fans in Hamilton have a penchant for throwing raw meat in big games like this. It's the Argos and Ticats coming right up. Part 2 of our Labor Day double dip right here at the half in Calgary. It's the Stampeders leading the Eskimos 17-6. The Kenny Walker story when we come back. It was an illustration of okay. Do not adjust your set. We were not experiencing technical difficulty. We were trying to illustrate how this game might seem to Kenny Walker of the Calgary Stampeders. Kenny Walker is a hearing-impaired athlete, but that hasn't stopped him from becoming a first-rate player in the Canadian Football League. Here now, the sounds of silence to Kenny Walker of the Calgary Stampeders. When Kenny Walker takes his stance on the Stampeder defensive line, he stands alone. Kenny Walker is deaf, but his hearing disability is not a disadvantage. Nothing really distracts me, he says. It's just getting used to the rules in Canada. In sport, the roar of the crowd is a significant stimulus, the home field advantage. Walker can't feed off that energy, but he feels it. In 1990, his senior year at Nebraska, the consensus All-American received a death clap standing ovation. He returned the gesture with one of his own, signing "I love you" to the capacity crowd. It was quite inspiring to see 77,000 people at the game. It was a good thing to see because it gives me good memories. Even though he can't hear the crowd or the quarterback call the signals, Walker has yet to go offside this season and leads the Calgary defense with 6 quarterback sacks. I use my eyes to see the crowd. During the game, I focus on the plays. Sometimes there's ups, sometimes downs. I have to keep an even keel. This is the first year Walker has been without an interpreter. It's forced his Stampeder teammates to come together to make the game plan accessible to him.
Well, at first it was a question whether Kenny would be able to adjust to the players. He was coming to a new system and he found it a little difficult to adjust, but he's a smart person and able to adjust quickly, and basically now the players don't see him as a handicapped player that is deaf at all. The head coach calls the plays in, signals in. Kenny reads the signals as I would. He watches the coach, gets the signals, and then I reaffirm the signals by saying the call in the huddle, and Kenny reads my lips.
Walker not only reads lips, he reads offenses. In the process, he's breaking down barriers in professional sport.
Mills, number 20, the ball carrier once again for Sacramento.
The most important thing is that you have faith in yourself and that you believe that you can do a sport and be involved. I want people to look up to me, seeing that I have a disability and that I can play at the level I am and be successful. Kenny Walker, of course, is not the only player with a hearing disability to have played in the Canadian Football League. Others have gone before him, like Jed Roberts, who is playing right here this afternoon in the Edmonton defense. Steve Farragelli, a running back in the 70s for Montreal. But Kenny Walker's having a great game as that Calgary defense holds Edmonton to 6 points in the first half. For their thoughts on the first half, let's go to the broadcast booth to Danny and Chris.
Well, Mark, as we anticipated, I think Calgary's defense a major story in the first half. A big turnover by Gerald Vaughn. Perhaps more important, though, Kep, they did not allow Edmonton to establish a running game 15 yards. That's all they could muster.
It was a point of the time when Damon Allen knew that he had to come out and rush the ball to open up his passing game, where Doug Flutie throws the ball enough and it opens up his rushing game. But they're just not going to have anything to do with it. And this has been a real big key. Once Doug Flutie gets his hands on the ball, Alan Pitts has been a go-to guy in this first half. 5 catches for 80 yards already, sets up this Stewart touchdown, and he has just been the guy that Doug Flutie is going to really concentrate on. Now they get the tip interception here. Everybody is playing well in this team. Offense, defense, and special teams. Gerald Vaughn, very heads-up play, comes up with the pick, and that later sets up an additional score.
At that point, pretty well all Calgary, but the Eskimos in the final minute showed you a little bit of their offensive muscle.
When they had to, and I think they reached down really inside, they came up with a big play. Mike Lee picks up the pass inside the seam, and then just makes some really super moves. Gets the ball down inside. Damon Allen's not able to get the ball into the end zone, but they do come away with 3 points and something positive to take into the halftime.
All right, most of these games in the past have been decided in the fourth quarter. It's an 11-point lead. Can Edmonton get it closer than that?
This is Canadian football. Anything can happen with these two guys right now, and I can guarantee you it will be a heck of a battle for 30 minutes.
Great drive to end the first half for the Eskimos. We'll see how they open the third quarter. Edmonton and Calgary, Labor Day at a sellout crowd at McMahon Stadium, anticipating the second half.
Everybody listen, including you, Ronnie.
Hey, Carl, how long was that Mike Lee catch right at the end?
51.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep. Sensational day for football in southern Alberta. Capacity crowd at McMahon Stadium for the Labor Day Classic, and we're set for the second half. Calgary 17, Edmonton 6. Let's compare the numbers of the quarterbacks. Not much difference thanks to that big 51-yard Lee catch at the end of the first half. And the second half underway with Lucius Floyd lugging the football across the 35 and giving Edmonton pretty good field position to start the second half.
Their field position hadn't made any difference. That Calgary defense has just come right out and just stuffed it. And it'll be very curious to see if Damon Allen still comes out and wants to establish that rushing game, or if he says, hey, I got to sit back here and we got to force Calgary to play some good pass defense. We've got good enough receivers. Let's see if they can get open and catch the ball.
Eskimos are first and 10 at their own 30.
Oh, we mentioned that they did not establish the running game in the first half, and best illustration of that, Damon Allen, no yards rushing. Lucius Floyd, and that's the story. Alondra Johnson's there. Sreko Zizakovic, Matt Finley. Boy, Calgary's been tough against the run, as they have been all year. They lead the CFL against the rush.
Just gang tackling this time. Just trying to set up. This is some of the things that Damon Allen wants to do. He comes out there, and that is setting up that Sally Ran or naked bootleg. But if all of a sudden Calgary doesn't have to respect that they can run the ball inside, they will shut it down and contain him. Now they are shutting it down inside and forcing Damon into that second and long situation.
Allen with time, and good coverage on Eddie Brown. That has been the prime target for Allen, but Doug Kraft's done a good job against number 4 so far.
A lot of pressure over there against Eddie Brown. Kraft doing an excellent job. Gerald Vaughn over top. Maybe Damon Allen has to start going to somebody else a little bit and try to draw some of the heat away from Eddie Brown and try to get a good one-on-one situation with him.
Striking similarities to a year ago, though. The Eskimos' offense was inconsistent last year at this time. Here's Coleman. And Marvin Coleman over the 40 to the 43-yard line. John Kalin, the Calgary product, with the tackle after the 17-yard return by this rookie kick returner.
5'9", 170 pounds. Coleman was everything in university. 4 times NAIA All-American. Now take a look. Doug Flutie, 12 for 16, 159 yards. But the big thing is the amount of time that the ball stayed in Doug Flutie's hands during the first half.
Starting at the 42-yard line, hands off to Stewart. And Stewart with his best carry of the game. Up to midfield, and Tony Stewart has a first down. Dan Murphy, the safety, on the tackle, but Stewart gets 13.
Great quick feet. Leroy Blue makes excellent penetration, but Stewart just sidesteps him, and then he comes out the explosion and gets up the field, picks up terrific yardage for the Calgary offense. Look at this sidestep right there is a great move.
All-time leading rusher for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Teammate of Mike Saunders of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Big win for them yesterday. Here's Flutie looking over the middle. There's Alan Pitts with his 6th catch of the game. Pitts down to the 39-yard line, and he is within 4 yards of his 6th 100-yard game of the year.
Doug Flutie had excellent time in the shotgun, just breaking the out, then a little hand up in the face of Glenn Rogers Jr., and he's able to create some separation. Doug had to throw the ball off balance, but it was a completion to Alan Pitts.
6 for 96 for Pitts. First down. Flutie in the flat, it doesn't get there. Travis Moore, the intended receiver.
Flutie's pass for number 83, Travis Moore, is incomplete. Second down.
You don't want to hang that pass out.
Not at all, and that was one of the things early in Doug's career when he came to the Canadian Football League. He was a little leery of throwing that wide side out. Good look there. That's John Huffnagel, the offensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, and a great quarterback in his own right in the CFL.
Second down and 10 for the Stampeders. And Flutie off the hands of one receiver to another, and Brian Wiggins has the catch. Well, we saw Allen hit the upright late in the first half. You see this carom pass going to Wiggins, and you wonder if it's just going to be Calgary's day.
Well, you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, and this is exactly what happens with Calgary. Good, solid throw this time by Doug Flutie. It just comes off the hands of the Sponges, and Brian Wiggins has excellent concentration of being able to pick that ball up after the tip.
Stamps operating without a huddle at the Edmonton 25. Flutie guns over the middle to Pitts. Pitts changes direction, but the Eskimos have circled the wagons and bring him down, but it's another first down. And for the 6th time in 9 games, Alan Pitts is over 100 yards in a game.
Chris flagged down the play away from the play, and it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against number 17, Robert Holland. It's very important that in these crucial situations, you have to maintain your discipline.
Unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 17, first down.
And that brings the ball down to about the 7-yard line. Tell you what, both teams have looked more effective on offense in the no-huddle situations. Edmonton went to it in the second quarter with some success. Right now, it's Stewart up the middle, and he'll drive in for the touchdown. His second of the game, number 13 on the year.
Calgary's offense is making this look very, very easy. No one around Tony Stewart as he gets into the end zone. Hands it deep, little search route, cut back. Larry Ruck is the only guy that's able to make some contact with him, but that's not before he's already crossed the goal line.
McLaughlin adds the extra point. Well, here we are in game 9 as tempers start to flare. And Tony Stewart has 13 touchdowns. The CFL record is 20.
Tony Stewart, just a great addition because what he adds is through his rushing game, but also he's a great pass receiver. Again, handed deep to him. Good, solid surge off of that offensive line, particularly the left side. Bruce Covington, Rocco Romano doing a terrific job. And here's what he sees. Coming back across, nobody's there. Bruce Covington getting a big arm on Larry Ruck and allows Tony Stewart to make it look very easy to get into the end zone. Very happy Doug Flutie.
Yesterday, Ron Lancaster was asked about Stewart and how he changes Calgary's offense, and Lancaster said it's still built around Doug Flutie, and that Stewart only enhances the package, but it's Doug Flutie's offense, and we've seen it illustrated today.
Very talented athlete because when they have him in the backfield, along with the receivers that they already have their 5-pack in there. They don't have to make any substitution to get really solid receiving corps.
Henry Williams up to the 40, bowls his way to the 43. Kent Leonard on the tackle. 31-yard return for Gizmo. And they need some of his magic now. 4.5 minutes into the third quarter. And the Eskimos down.
All right, time now for the 35-yard line. Big putt to win. $50,000 in cash courtesy of Sport Check. Piece of cake, it's been done before. Put your ball down and give her a whack. John Down is Peter Roach and Dale Blake. Putt to win. You can be eligible to win $50,000 if you can get it through the hole. Going, slowly going. Oh! Missed it by 2 inches. Give her a good whack. Here we go. All right, going, wide left. All right, here we go, last crack at it. One for 50 grand. There it goes, it's wide. Don't become eligible to win $50,000 by entering your name at any Sport Check location in Calgary. Thanks to our 3 contestants today.
Renfrew Chrysler is again proud sponsor to the Calgary Stampeder football team. Renfrew Chrysler and Alberta Jeep Eagle, your downtown connection. Anytime banking by telephone is as close as your fingertips. Whether you're at home, at work, or anywhere there's a phone, access banking services and financial information. Anytime banking by telephone. Available at Alberta Treasury branches.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium, and you're looking at the winningest coach in the 90s in the CFL, Wally Buono, with 57 wins, 35-5 at home, and he has a lot to owe to that man to his right, Bob Vespasiani, the head coach who hired Wally as a defensive coach back in 1987. He did the turn for Bob right now, hiring him back this year as his defensive assistant.
Defensive big story today, and it will be on this play. Will Johnson. Allen couldn't see over top of him and then ended up underneath him.
Will did an excellent job because all Damon Allen was going to do was a 3-step drop and throw the quick out. Chris Morris, the right tackle, was going to cut him, but he had some great athleticism right at the top of your screen. Now watch him keep his feet. Now his hands go straight up, and he makes Damon Allen pull the ball back down.
Will Johnson with his 7th sack of the year, number 69 of his career in this, his 89th game in the CFL. 2nd and long. Allen looking for Christensen, and Greg Frears almost had the interception. His first career interception was last Labor Day against the Eskimos.
Christensen, number 87. Third down for the
And in
Eskimos.
case you're just joining us late, the Stampeders using those new special occasion uniforms.
And it surely is working. I think they're going to find a way that they may want to wear these things every game with the intensity that they're playing out there today. Greg Frears just made a great break on the ball, hits him in the hands, or else he may have had a chance to try to get that ball into the end zone.
Marvin Coleman driven back, and he put the foot out of bounds. Great kick by Harper. And Calgary backed up for the first time today, a 57-yard Harper punt. But there is a flag down. It's going against Calgary, so the Harper punt will stand. Daryl Moyer, former Calgary safety, is our spotter today. Tells us that Larry Rickman bought these jerseys.
Holding, Calgary 44 on the return, half the distance, first down.
That's Ray Biggs. Wally Buono wasn't sure that it was a good idea to use something different on Labor Day, considering the success this team has had here at home. Rickman wanted the new jerseys, so they put it to a vote of the players, and out of maybe the pages of Notre Dame lore, special occasion jerseys seem to be working for the Stampeders today.
As we talked to him right before the game, he happened to look over with that sneaky smile. He says, "We got some surprises for you today." I thought maybe some trick plays or something, but not a whole new wardrobe.
The boys in black are the good guys for most of the McMahon Stadium fans today. Flutie in some trouble, and the Magic Man gets out of it. What a play by Doug Flutie, first down at the 25, and he spikes the ball to punctuate the game.
The key thing with defenses and offenses is the fact that when you have an opportunity to make a big play, you have to make it. Doug Flutie comes out, good pursuit, good containment, but all of a sudden you've got Leroy Blue and Willie Press going outside, and Doug Flutie with those quick feet is able to make a lot out of absolutely nothing.
First down, Tony Stewart, left side.
Tony Stewart,
near the 28-yard line. You used that one-on-one basketball analogy earlier. It's as if Doug Flutie's playing one-on-one against Damon Allen today. Trying to match him and overmatch him after being outplayed by Allen in last year's final. Flag down. Let's hear what Neil Payne has to say.
Unnecessary roughness, Edmonton 26. First down.
Glenn Rogers Jr.
When you're having a tough go of it, it makes it obviously even tougher when you start beating yourself. The other team's doing a pretty good job of it right now. Don't help them any.
Ron Lancaster with a change of wardrobe, trying to change the look, donning the Eskimo cap.
These guys are from the old school. They're very traditional, so that's why this color change in the jerseys is very surprising for Wally Buono.
Flutie over the middle. Pee-wee Smith with the catch in front of Don Wilson.
Pee-wee Smith, number 86, brings it in.
Mentioned Pee-wee's success against the Eskimos. 91 Labor Day, 2 kick return touchdowns. The Western Final, of course, in 91. He had the winning touchdown in the final minute. In 92, he had an overtime touchdown to beat Edmonton and a punt return for a touchdown in last year's Western Final. And we've got an injured Eskimo down, and that will afford Doug Flutie time to confer at the Calgary bench. Flutie now 16 of 21, 211 yards. And it's Willie Plus getting attention on the field. Check that, Leroy Blue, 89.
Calgary Stampeder annual charity dinner on Thursday.
Taking a look at that left knee of his, Leroy has had some problems with his knee earlier and had it scoped prior to this season. So hopefully that's not too serious of a reoccurring injury.
Ron Lancaster saying last night, game in, game out. Leroy Blue delivers the goods for the Eskimos. And he hops up, and that's a good sign.
Walking off, it doesn't seem to be really any really serious effect on that right knee. And I can guarantee you'll see him back in a couple of plays.
7 minutes, 45 seconds to go, third quarter.
First and 10 for the Stampeders at the Calgary 54.
Errol Martin is in for Leroy Blue. And Flutie airs it out. And it's jump ball, and Ed Berry was the closest man to it. Pee Wee Smith was the intended receiver.
Number 13, Ed
Berry. We haven't really seen Doug Flutie try to go long today.
Doug Flutie really hasn't had to go long. He's been taking exactly what this Edmonton defense is giving him. Right at the last minute, Ed Berry's able to get one hand up, one hand on the receiver. If he'd have taken two hands and put up there, maybe there was a chance for a pick and a big play.
So it's second down for Calgary near midfield. Stampeders leading by 18 points. Guns it over the middle. Great diving catch by Dave Sapunjas with his old nemesis Don Wilson in pursuit.
Don Wilson, number 20.
That's a good solid battle right there, because Don Wilson has had some great success against Calgary.
Another Stampeder first down.
But whether it's Dave Sapunjas or whether it's Alan Pitts, this middle of the Edmonton defense is fairly soft. And then just a little tap in the head with the shoe, just for old time's sake.
Great catch by Sapunjas. First down, Calgary, and Flutie on a roll. Flag goes down. The pass to Pitts is incomplete. And a flag in the Calgary backfield.
Let's bring it back with holding. And I think we're going to catch it out on number 56. Looks like the center, Doug Davies, possibly against Benny Goods, number 40.
Holding, Calgary 59. First down, repeated 10-yard penalty.
Now, I'm going to have to sit with Coach Rickman and Coach Buono both together and say, listen, I'm having trouble reading those numbers up here with those new color schemes. You're going to have to change them. Get them highlighted, make them fluorescent or something.
59, Rocco Romano. Listen, the way they're playing,
they don't care.
They are not too concerned right now. We may see the black as a regular fixture here at McMahon. So it's first down over and 20.
Screen pass.
Flutie setting it up and gets it away. This is Sapunjas. And he drags a couple of would-be tacklers, and now a flag goes down away from the play. But Dave Sapunjas got the 10 yards back from the penalty and picked up a few more.
Alan Pitts and Glenn Rogers Jr. are going at it downfield. And I got a feeling they're going to call Glenn Rogers on this. They tried to set up the screen to Tony Stewart to the right-hand side.
Major foul, Edmonton 26, grabbing the face mask after the play, first down.
Doug Flutie is so versatile, and then here comes the thing that takes place after the play. Alan Pitts trying to make a good block downfield after Sapunjas has made the reception. Now they're going to go at it a bit. Glenn Rogers taking exception to that, and a 15-yard penalty.
And a first down, Calgary. And Tony Stewart has the ball. Nothing in the middle, trying to get outside. Great pursuit.
Number 21,
and
Tony
Stewart stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Don Wilson in on the tackle.
Don Wilson leading the Eskimos.
Now that is shades of the type of defense that we have seen Edmonton play through the course of this season, and particularly against Calgary Stampeders last year. Inside handoff, nowhere to go. They've just shut it down. Good quick beat by Stewart. But what they have been doing, excellent pursuit by the Edmonton defense.
Eskimos have allowed the opposition an average of 335 yards per game this year. Calgary with 329 here in the third quarter. There's a pass over the middle to Dave Sapunjas, and another first down at the Edmonton 15. Dan Murphy, the safety, bringing Sapunjas down. So it was Pitts in the first half, and now Dave Sapunjas becoming the key target in the second half.
Take a look as Sponge comes over the middle. You can see that the linebacker Pless is a little short. You know why? He squats and he sets up and he jumps Stewart, the running back coming out, and that allows Sapunjas to have more room to operate behind him. And Doug Flutie, all he had to do was lay the ball in.
Glenn Rogers, after the penalty, came out of the game. Trent Brown has taken his spot. And Flutie to Stewart, and he took a look before he took the football.
Doug Flutie has Stewart wide open. Edmonton's made another miscue in their secondary. Leaves him standing out there. They read a lot. With 3 receivers, they read inside out, or they read whether it's going deep or going short. Depends on their call. This time, 2 defenders read the same thing and went after the same man, and it left Tony Stewart all by himself.
11th play of the drive. Flutie in the end zone. Touchdown, Alan Pitts.
Anytime you give a guy like Doug Flutie 2 things, that much time to throw the ball and a mismatch of an Alan Pitts against Trent Brown, you go to it automatically every time, and it made it look very easy.
After the roughing call, Edmonton pulled Glenn Rogers out, and Doug Flutie went right to Alan Pitts for the major.
Playing well, we're gonna win. What's up, Bushanda? He's playing for me.
Here they come, a 3-foot long, courtesy of the Yellow Pages, in the air after every Calgary Stampeder touchdown. Yellow Pages mini football.
Time now for another Stampeder lucky section of Allison fans with a sample of Whoa Sports, the new fitness favorite fight on Reynolds low end. It's still good like an everything should. Check out the major scoreboard at the end of the stadium. The lucky section is F as in Stampeders. And the Rose for 1,000 fans for the smelly stuff. So you can grab it in next. 1 to 20. Thanks again to Polo Sport for sponsoring the lucky section. And go Stamps, go!
Avis Rent-A-Car is the official rent-a-car of the 94 Stampeders. When the red and white are on the road, we drive in luxury in the red and white of Avis Rent-A-Car. Page Direct is your communications superstore at 291-5400. Chinook Laser Eye Center is proud to be the official laser eye care center for the Calgary Stampeders. Chinook Laser Eye Center is in Chinook Center.
The scoring drive began with that Doug Flutie Houdini-like run deep in his own zone for a first down, was capped by the touchdown pass to Alan Pitts.
Doug Flutie does next. He knows where he's going the minute he comes out from under the center, looks the safety off, comes back to the weak side in the slot, Alan Pitts, and it's easy. Pitch and catch, just like going to the playground.
Henry Williams. Again, great coverage. Marvin Pope without the helmet, but with Gizmo Williams on the carpet.
59 yards on the
Yeah, he's playing like Big Daddy today.
Big Daddy and that whole Calgary team have a point to prove. And they really are making a statement this afternoon to the Edmonton Eskimos and also the rest of the league.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. It was 9 months ago, the Western Final, but you were in a position where you sat for 9 months waiting to get to the team that had beaten you pretty bad.
This will take a while. I'll tell you this right after this play, Chris.
Kind of a Alan DeSouls, and that's a completion near the 40-yard line. Picked up a close to 8. Yes, this is a favorite story, at least a story with a happy ending for you.
A favorite for you, but the 1977 Grey Cup in Montreal, 41-6, absolutely embarrassed. And there was something that just set and festered in our body the whole time in the offseason. We could not wait to play Montreal the next year to prove that we were a better team than what they saw that November, past November.
And in 78, you proved it and more. Calgary doing the job today. There's the first down of the third quarter for the Eskimos. Calgary with 12 first downs, and now the Eskimos get their first of the second half. Matt Finley and the Calgary defense has put a blanket on this Edmonton offense today.
If possibly you were playing against any other defense, this lead is not insurmountable, but against a defense like Calgary, they're not going to give you very much. So Edmonton has their work cut out for them.
Well, Johnson jumped and play whistle down. 2:18 to go, third quarter. And this was offside Calgary.
Offside, Calgary 81, 5-yard penalty, 1st and 5.
Well, this Calgary team, not only a great defense, but they put 50-plus points on the board in 4 of their last 6 games. And the defense has to take credit for that because they give Doug Flutie so many opportunities with the football. They have 31 points today and a whole lot of time left. Allen with time, and he goes deep for Floyd and just fails to bring it in.
Allen going downfield for 33, Lucius Floyd. Just out of his reach, incomplete. It's second down and 5.
So 2nd and 5 for Allen and the Eskimos. David joked yesterday, maybe this offense just doesn't start to get in high gear until it's winter time. The Eskimos are a cold weather offense. They have been an inconsistent one for most of the first half of the season, although they put 44 points on the board in their last 2 games against Sacramento and Las Vegas.
It's different, but when you come into any park as the defending Grey Cup champions, you have to play to that level.
Allen running and has the first down, but that's just his 2nd carry of the game, and I think that is a surprise.
Well, that's true. I think what he has been doing, maybe he's got to take a little more of this on himself, scramble a little bit, get that defense trying to chase him down, and open up some of those throwing lanes. Obviously, when he starts to run, he's not running to run, but he's going to run to try to create a situation where he can throw the ball when the coverage comes up. If he has to run it, go ahead and pick up the first down and keep the chains moving, keep possession.
Approaching the final minute of the third quarter, 1st and 10 Edmonton. Has an open receiver and the catch for Floyd. And Lucius Floyd brought down at the 24.
Floyd with the catch for the Eskimos.
Tremendous contact that time in the seam
It's a 29-yard gain. First down
on Lucius Floyd, and he was able to maintain his balance. Straight up the hash marks, catches the ball, bobbles a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your 50,
And that looks like Gerald Vaughn, after that play, stayed down on the ground.
We'll give you the winning number for 75.
44 seconds left, third quarter. We'll be back to McMahon Stadium, Calgary.
Sponsored by Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice and Software Athletics. The choreography by Allison Joseph. And now, ladies and gentlemen, today's 50-50 draw winner for $7,500 cash. The winning number is 5935593.
Kenton Leonard, the defensive half, 4-year veteran, is the injured Stampeder.
Under Section A.
And as he is helped off, Marvin Coleman, the rookie, will take his spot. There's Coleman, 44 seconds to go, third quarter. Eskimos have a first down and they need some points in a hurry. Allen with some time, threw behind Souls. Incomplete.
Michael Souls is incomplete.
Gone a lot more to his backs out of the backfield in the second half.
What they were trying to do, they had those three receivers to the wide side of the field, left Eddie Brown up to the top all by himself, then they waggled the backs out. But the confidence that we felt yesterday talking to Damon Allen, we just don't see it right now in his play and his performance.
2nd and 10 for Edmonton.
Here comes the blitz.
Allen gets it away, and Eddie Brown with the catch, but he was out of bounds. Doug Kraft doing the celebrating for the Stampeders. Greg Frères came on that blitz, and there were visions of a year ago when Knox really laid a hit on Damon Allen. There's Brown out of bounds.
Absolutely, he came in scot-free. No one touched him. Had Damon Allen had to pull that ball down just a bit, boom, just a little contact to let him know. Holds up. Very smart move by the young Canadian.
Sean Fleming, number 3 for the Eskimos, to attempt a 32-yard
32-yard field goal attempt for Sean Fleming. And Fleming puts it through, so the third field goal of the game for number 3 of the Eskimos, Sean Fleming, and the lead now 31-9 on the final play of the third quarter. Ron Lancaster's team in a big hole as we get set for the final 15 minutes from McMahon.
Invite you to fill up on fuel and food at your friendly Husky dealer. Husky Food Stores and Husky House Restaurants in Calgary invite you to fill up with coffee and snacks and check out the Husky 22-ounce thermal cup. You can redeem your ticket stub from the Labor Day Classic at any Sport Check or any Fort Zanny's location and receive 10% off the regular or sale price of any purchase. Stampeders' next home game is Friday, September 16th against the first-year expansion team from Las Vegas, the Classy. Game tickets are now on sale at the Stampeder ticket office and all Ticketmaster locations.
Standing by on hardwire.
Stand by, here we come.
Welcome back to Calgary. Well, if you need any evidence of how tough this football game is, take a look at the scar on the helmet of Kenton Leonard, the yellow and green and gold of the Eskimos. A little badge of honor for Kenton Leonard, who is out of this game right now with a severely bruised left shoulder. Chris?
Yes, the Eskimos have left their mark in that way anyway. All part of what the Labor Day game's all about. Doug Flutie back to work here in the fourth quarter as a wide open Brian Wiggins streaking down the sidelines, but he stepped out of bounds. Big gain, but it's not as big as Wiggins thinks. He stepped out at the 38-yard line.
Very slow reaction, but that's number 13, Ed Berry, allows Wiggins to get behind him, but you can see the right foot is out of bounds. Good call. He had nothing but green on the inside. There was no really reason to have to cut it so tight to the sideline.
37-yard gain. And Flutie is now 21 of 28, 75%. And now over 300 yards. Flutie with just one 400-yard game this year passing. He had 7 in 93. Again, nothing up the middle for Tony Stewart. Benny Goods there. But that's just about all that has worked well defensively for Edmonton as we check the stats through 45 minutes.
Welcome to all our special friends from
Folks, you can read the numbers just as well as I can right there. And that reflects directly to the scoreboard and a complete domination of this ball game by the Calgary Stampeders.
Number 20 has put on another dazzling display. Calgary jumped offside. Flutie's going to run with it and try to get out of bounds untouched. Got help and another flag for the clip. So Flutie shows the frustration. It was a play that was not going to amount to much anyway.
And there was no need for more on that time, number 83, to come back and make the clip. Doug Flutie was way ahead of him, heading straight to the out of bounds marker.
Rookie mistake for Travis Moore playing in his first game.
There's a good look at Kenny Moore. 12th
Offside, Calgary number 18, first down repeated.
This is his 168th game as a Calgary Stampeder.
Well, Travis Moore was told at the bench that he'd made a mistake, and after he was dressed down by the coach, one of his teammates went over, Dave Sapungis, and kind of told him to pick up his head and not to worry about it.
When I say that Coach Bono is from the old school, I mean that with all due respect, in the sense that he demands players to be disciplined. And that demand lasts for 60 whole minutes during the football game.
Doug Flutie, another edge over Allen today. Flutie running more this year than in 93. Airing it out here for Pitts, and he was sandwiched. Are they ruling a catch? The ball rolling out of bounds.
They'll give it the catch, the fumble. Pitts being the last one to touch it creates possession to Calgary.
Pitts would have been arguing if Edmonton had scooped up the loose ball, but he'll take the catch.
Doug Pitts runs the corner route. Good throw, and there's some great contact by Berry on the play. Jars the ball loose. No one's able to get a hand on it, but it leaves it third and very short.
And Berry slow to get up after the contact. He may have a little red and black on his helmet.
But take a look. If you come back and we can see that Ed Berry makes that contact, he's got his head dropped down. And when he takes his head down, you're going to injure your neck that way. Keep your head up. There's an old saying, you got to bow your neck, sit it back in your shoulder pads, and hit the guy with the top of your forehead, not with the top of your head, if you're going to make that good solid tackle using your head.
Players from Utah State in the game. We talked earlier about Mike Lee and Ed Berry, a 6-year veteran out of Utah State. And he's been a great corner in the league, former Argonaut. 13-10 to go. It's third down for the Stampeders, and they'll go for it with less than a yard. Flutie keeping it himself, faked the toss to Stewart, and Doug lunging for the first down.
Right at the last minute, had that lunge not taken place, he wouldn't have got it, but great move on his part, good vision. The pitch was taken care of, a down the line option. It looked like he jumped forward just enough for the first down, but the measure is required.
It was close.
Stampeder first down.
Gave Flutie time to confer at the bench. Unbelievably, he went 13 quarters against Edmonton without a touchdown pass till late in the third quarter. He hooked up with Alan Pitts.
Speaking of Alan Pitts, look at him. He's matched up against Trent Brown again. Let's see if Doug Flutie goes to it quickly.
Has time over the middle. There is Pitts, and he can't bring that one in.
Pass intended for Alan Pitts, number 18, incomplete.
Dan Murphy helping Trent Brown out on coverage.
Dan Murphy, number 24, on the coverage.
Congratulations to our Sunridge Ball sideline.
Trent Brown, obviously with great amount of respect for Alan Pitts, all he does is just let him make the break deep inside. Hopefully that he's got help by Murphy, the safety, and Murphy's able to come up. That ball just wasn't caught very cleanly by Alan Pitts. Normally you see him squeeze the ball and be able to tuck those kind of passes away.
Well, as you can see by that graphic, the Stampeders have made the most of their chances. 4 for 4 inside the 25. And looking for Pitts again, incomplete. Alan Pitts is over 1,000 yards receiving on the season, but Flutie couldn't find him open that time.
Doug Flutie showing again great experience and great presence of mind. He saw that Alan Pitts was double covered. They had Trent Brown and also Murphy over top, and he just rifled the ball out of bounds, where now they can tee it up and make an opportunity for the field goal, and it wasn't intercepted. If it doesn't fit, don't force it in this philosophy.
Mark McLaughlin will attempt a 35-yarder. Flutie puts it down. McLaughlin puts it through, adding to the Stampeders' advantage. 11:43 to go, and it's 34-9 Calgary.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 1994 Calgary Stampeder Outriders, sponsored by Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice and Software Athletics. The choreography by Allison Joseph.
I'm just trying to look up there and see. Can you give me a camera shot so I can look at the monitor? Okay. Right.
Calgary Stampeder Outriders. Mark McLaughlin's field goal means another football for the Stay in School section, sponsored by Canadian Trackmaster, Xerox, and Human Resources Development.
Welcome back to Calgary, where the Stampeders have a stranglehold on this Labor Day Classic over Edmonton. Coming up in 45 minutes from now, we'll switch you to part 2 of our Labor Day double dip. The Argos and Tiger Cats. If you think this game has players who despise each other, wait till you see the bad blood at Ivor win. Chris?
Don Southern, who for so many years was a big part of this Labor Day Classic in the midst of the Argos and the Ticats now, as Gizmo Williams picks his way out to near the 35. Ray Biggs with the tackle for Calgary, a 27-yard return. Well, the Eskimos were the last team to win a regular season game here in Calgary. Labor Day 92.
Raymond Biggs on the tackle.
Since then, the home fans have had plenty to cheer about. 18 straight wins. This could be 19. And for the second straight Labor Day, Ricky Foggy is in relief
number 14, Ricky Foggy,
of Damon Allen. And he throws it out to Gizmo. Henry Williams. And he somersaults his way near midfield.
And around for the Eskimos, ending it with the usual gymnastics. near the 55.
Safety Greg Knox with the hit on Gizmo Williams.
Greg Knox, number 8, with the tackle.
Just a hit screen. Jay Christensen and a couple of guys down in front making the block. Then Gizmo's taking it on himself, trying to make something happen here. Calgary at this point not pursuing to that ball quite as quickly as they did in the first half, but with good reasons.
20-yard pickup for Williams. And now Foggy out of the shotgun. Foggy takes a hit but gets it away, and Lucius Floyd is into Calgary territory at the 44. Ricky Foggy paid the price.
Junior Thurman, number 2, on the tackle.
To his credit, he stands in here and he knows he's going to get hit, and the ball is thrown off balance, but what a shot by Will Johnson.
And what an afternoon number 81 has had. Johnson, Zizakovic, Hope, Alondra Johnson.
Johnny Rockets, the official car wash of the Calgary Stampeders.
And Zizakovic is down.
To everyone in Section J.
And if he has to come out, they'll have to send Zizakovic in. Because his brother Lubo's waiting for a chance, doesn't want Big Brother to get banged up. But 96 will give way to number 98, perhaps.
Can you imagine the younger brother going in now after somebody's beat up on his older brother and with that kind of revenge? And this guy going in is 6'8", about 275 pounds. He's a large man.
No, he's going to go and check on brother first. They're bringing Lubo out to go to the extra deep back because the Eskimos seem to have something going through the air. So the Zizakovic boys will cool out, and an extra deep back is in for the Stampeders. That's Greg Freres. Play action, rush on, and Foggy down. Will Johnson again.
He is back by number 81, Will Johnson.
Ricky Foggy not having any opportunity to set, look down at the field. The first thing he sees after he makes the handoff just out of his peripheral vision is Will Johnson coming right down his face. Will does an excellent move inside of Chris Morris, big, strong bull type of guy, and then he's able to put Ricky Foggy down on the ground.
Second down and 16.
Kind of a Johnson and Johnson blitz. Alondra didn't get him, but Will did. The loss close to 7.
Safety blitz, man-to-man coverage.
Foggy running for his life. Way back to the Edmonton 30, and he's down.
And look who takes him down.
Ricky Foggy is back on number 7.
A loss of 28. 11-year veteran Stu Laird will celebrate that one.
He must have heard the fire barrel ring because he was running for the ladder right there as he was chasing Ricky Foggy. Good job, you get him. Now Ricky's got to get rid of this ball sometimes. He's got to throw it downfield somehow. But look at that explosion coming in, and the big guy makes a calf rope right around his ankles.
Here's Marvin Coleman. Almost broke through the first wave.
Number 17 with some second effort.
8:36 to go, and Calgary has this one in hand.
Tackled by number 32, Michael Souls for Edmonton. 46 yards for Harper on the kick.
Unchanged link to native instinctive appetite to break free, leaving the city's limits behind in sight to disappear in engineering. Why? Because I am. Canadian.
ServiceMaster, the official rug and locker room cleaners of the 1994 Calgary Stampeders. Satisfaction guaranteed from ServiceMaster. Listen to Calgary Stampeder play-by-play action every home and away game exclusively on QR77, Calgary Stampeder Radio. The next broadcast is Friday, September 9th from Edmonton at 7:30.
Right there, that's Edmonton's radio. It's Stubler, Joe Pow Pow.
Yeah.
Canadian Airlines International, the official airline of the Calgary Stampeders, as they travel to Las Vegas. You can see the Stamps play the Posse, departing September 29th. For more information, call Intra-Travel today.
Welcome back to Calgary, and coming up live next Saturday, just south of this Alberta city, Spruce Meadows and the Bank of Montreal Nations Cup. Ian Miller, of course, Beth Underhill versus the Equestrian World here on CBC live at 4 Eastern next Saturday. Chris?
And again, Mark, later today we'll have the second half of our doubleheader at Hamilton and Toronto from Ivor Wynne Stadium. It's been quite a weekend, Labor Day weekend, the thriller between Ottawa and Las Vegas. Yesterday, Saskatchewan with the win, over 28,000 on hand at Taylor Field. Here's Pee Wee Smith, and he is grabbed by Don Wilson and sent to the turf. Mike Pringle of Baltimore with 232 yards rushing. And now the Stampeders flexing their muscles and looking very much like the team that dominated through most of last regular season. About to end a 3-game losing streak against the Edmonton Eskimos.
And doing it with authority. There is absolutely no question in how they won this football game or winning this football game to this point.
Doug Flutie staying in. Brings it down, and he'll take off. Cross midfield, and no sense getting hurt now. 7.5 minutes to go, and a first down for Flutie, and the game well in hand.
There's a good look at Wally Bono. He's talking to Alonzo Johnson. He is in charge of the linebacking core, which is a little unique for head coaches. But I had spoke with him earlier this year, and he said that the 1993 season was the most disappointing season that he has ever had. Once he's tasted the Grey Cup victory, it is not contented to settle for anything less. So unless he's in Vancouver hoisting the cup this year, it'll be somewhat a disappointing season for the Calgary Stampeders.
Flutie again over the middle to Dave Sapunjas. Sapunjas has had a terrific second half.
Willie Pless, number 39 on the tackle.
The winningest coach in the 90s, and what a record here at McMahon Stadium. 35-5 since he took control in 1990.
This is a tough place backyard to bring your baseball bat and glove to play, huh?
It's like Commonwealth Stadium.
It's had its day.
Back in the Kepley era, which Mr. Buono referred to yesterday. Here's a pass in the flat to Pee Wee, and Holland making contact as soon as Smith got his hands on the ball. Well, I mentioned this will be win number 19 in a row at home during the regular season. The CFL record is 20, set by Montreal from 53 to 56, as you see the contact. Holland on Pee Wee Smith. Now, was Wally Buono a linebacker that era, 53 to 56 with the Alouettes?
He could have been, but I know for a fact he was a tough physical linebacker in 1977 when they beat us like a drum.
Flutie airing it out again. And once again, it's Pee Wee Smith. At the 25, Calgary has a first down. Clock running with 5:20 to go. And Doug Flutie just padding his stats and making a point here in the fourth quarter.
In any game through the course of this season so far, if Calgary would have been this far ahead, you would be seeing Steve Taylor. But I can promise you, you will not see Steve Taylor in this game today.
If there was any need for Doug Flutie to get a shot of confidence, and I'm not sure there was, he's getting it here.
Not at all. I don't think he lost any type of confidence whatsoever in his ability or the Calgary Stampeders.
Slings one out right side to Stewart, who breaks a tackle. Down to the 19, that's a pickup of close to 5. Doug Flutie now 27 of 36, 353 yards, and 1 touchdown.
The Eskimo defense had been caught in that Famous situation, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you blitz him, he gets him one-on-one coverage, and he's taking advantage of it. If you don't blitz him, he's got so much time to throw the ball, he's able to pick you apart and hit it exactly where he wants to.
2nd and 5 for the Stampeders. Fans roaring their approval. Flutie looking into the end zone. Travis Moore, touchdown! And the rookie celebrates his first ever CFL major.
This shows you just the kind of guy that Doug Flutie is. He wants to get everybody involved in this victory, and he goes to the youngster, Travis Moore, who comes up, makes a good catch. Both feet are in from that angle there. Excellent catch over tough defensive coverage. And that ball's not going to go anywhere. You can guarantee that.
Stampeders making a point here, and they're now over 40 in the game. McLaughlin puts it through, 41-9. 3:38 to go.
Here comes the mini footballs, courtesy of the Yellow Pages. After every Stampeder touchdown, we got a chance to catch the Yellow Pages mini football. Sun. Ultimate sports paper, the Calgary Sun. Make to visit the Singers Connection booth in the East Concourse and enter the draw for a trip to Las Vegas, presented by the Stampeders and Irene Bessie keyboard. Today's cup sponsor is Transformer Pipeline. They'll donate $25 for every point the Stampeders score to the Calgary Urban Projects Society.
Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Calgary.
Stadium is a madhouse as they salute the Stamps. That drive almost 5 minutes, and here's how Flutie capped it.
Little pump fake, no heat on him whatsoever, but here comes the great play. Excellent concentration, and then the even more concentration to get the foot in bounds before he landed.
Well, they have scored in every quarter. And for the 6th time in 9 games, they're over 40 on the day. And the Eskimos can take consolation that Calgary's picked no favorites this year. They put up big numbers against the best teams in the league. Gizmo Williams, and it hasn't been his day.
Return for the Eskimos after a 67-yard kickoff by Mark McLaughlin.
Stampeders, 42 points against Baltimore, 58 against Winnipeg, 62 against BC. Against Saskatchewan 2 weeks ago, they put 54 points on the board, 52 against the Toronto Argonauts, and now with a 32-point lead against the defending Grey Cup champions. On the season, Cap, they've scored 385 points, have allowed only 143. Foggy going for Eddie Brown, incomplete.
Brown is out of his reach. 2nd down.
Ricky Foggy in there just doesn't look like he's playing with a lot of confidence, and obviously I don't think a lot of this whole Edmonton Eskimo team is right at this point. It's a matter of let's get this over with as quickly as we can, put our tails between our legs, get back to Edmonton, because we got another game fight next Friday night.
The rematch at Commonwealth Stadium. Last year, it's where Edmonton handed Calgary its first loss of the season. Foggy throws the out again and does have Brown, who steps out a first down. 2:52 to go.
And a first down.
Steve Taylor's warming up. We'll be back to McMahon. This one at McMahon Stadium before a sellout crowd, well in hand for Calgary. Don't forget, we'll be going to Iberwin Stadium. Don Southern as the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats for the first time in a Labor Day Classic against the Toronto Argonauts. And there'll be plenty of emotion there. And while first place was on the line today here, a playoff spot certainly in the minds of both the Argonauts and the Tiger Cats in Hamilton. Foggy with the pump fake and throws an interception. Alondra Johnson. And Johnson dragged down inside the 24 by Michael Souls. And Ronnie Lancaster's got 5 days to get set for the rematch at Commonwealth.
When it goes bad, it goes bad. He goes to pump fake. Look like he's going to go deep to Henry Gizmo Williams. Take a look. And then Alondra Johnson's going to come out right here. He wants to pump fake deep, but here's going to be the release. And Alondra Johnson comes out, does an excellent job of reading the head of Ricky Foggy. Now watch, he picks up the ball. Boom, there it is. It hits him right in the face mask. Turns around, makes a great return for the Calgary defense.
To Wiggins for 38 yards. Starting at row 15, Johnny Rockets will be handing out 38 car washes.
Great game for the Calgary defense. Second interception now, and Steve Taylor is in to relieve Doug Flutie in the mop-up here. Alan Pitts. Quarterbacks change, but the targets remain the same. Steve Taylor, the former Eskimo, good numbers this year. He's seen more action in relief of Flutie.
And he's had an opportunity to play a little bit more. Doug Flutie has been very comfortable in being able to come out once the game is in hand and give Steve Taylor some playing experience. And when he has been out there, as you said, he has really delivered and produced.
Former Nebraska star. First down, pressure on, throwing and knocked down by Ed Berry. Well, let's close the book on Mr. Flutie. Quite an afternoon. 2 years ago, 6 interceptions.
But Wally was very quick to notice, he said that 4 of those interceptions came off either tip balls or coming off the hands of the receivers. So he actually didn't throw it in the face mask as we just saw Ricky Foggy do to Alondra Johnson.
Little redemption here. I'm not sure the case will be closed until the Western Final of the Grey Cup. Here's Taylor over the referee and in. Touchdown, Calgary. Nothing's going to get in the way of the Stamps this afternoon.
Edmonton Eskimos having trouble tackling. Even the refs are having trouble tackling. And the end result still comes out to be the same. A major score for the Calgary Stampeders. And probably one of the best cheerleaders that there is on the sideline. Doug really wants to see good things happen. Good quick feet. Now the cut back very quickly. And the ref, come on, ref, get your feet moving. Get out of the way. And Steve Taylor gets the ball in the end zone.
Well, this score will send shockwaves through Edmonton, but through the entire league, the 92 Grey Cup champions are back with a vengeance. 48-9 with 1:57 left.
Wally Boney made a point of saying that he challenged his players to play with character and having the attitude as strong as possible. And you had to have great character is the key element to winning football teams. And you're seeing one reason today why Calgary is having a winning season.
There's Frank Spaziani, the new defensive coordinator. He's congratulating the offensive line. Yep, he was on the losing end to Edmonton last year in the Grey Cup game, right here at McMahon Stadium. Well, but last year, Calgary convincing winners on Labor Day. 5 days later, Eskimos answered right back, handing the Stamps their first loss of the year. Gizmo way back in his end zone, winding up. And away he goes, Gizmo. Across the 30, flying through the air. 35-yard return for Henry Williams. Stampeders open the season, leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders 21-0 at the half. They lost 22-21, and from that point on, they have been committed not to let up. This game's obviously over, but after losing the first game, blowing a 3-touchdown lead, they are under orders to just keep going straight ahead, and the Eskimos have not been able to stop the steamroller this afternoon.
Well, there's not been anybody else other than that Saskatchewan team in the first game of the season that has had an opportunity. Ottawa came pretty close, but that was as close as it's gotten for them.
Mark Tober with his first catch in the Canadian Football League.
Great prayers, number 6.
Out at the University of Alberta, the rookie with his first reception. Maybe 30 years from now, he can tell the grandchildren it was a key catch in the Labor Day Classic.
He could. He possibly could, but I don't think that he would like to maybe tell that lie to his grandkids.
Right now, it's not as sweet a catch as
he'd like for it to be.
Here's Souls in the flat.
Take it out! Take him out!
And at midfield, Souls brought down. Pee Wee Smith. And the Stampeders savoring the moment. Leroy Blue and the Eskimos. We'll check that Willie Pless.
Yeah, that's Willie Pless, and he's not savoring very much right now.
Here's Foggy throwing it out, and Christensen can't catch up with it.
Foggy's pass intended for Jay Christensen, number 87.
Chris, that's why we have a minute. One thing that they did today that is very important, not only thinking about this ball club, but thinking about other people. The Calgary Stampeders had a wonderful food bank drive, and they had people come in and donate foods, and they were asking them to please bring a can of unperishable food to the stadium today because the food bank is low here. The same thing will take place at Commonwealth Stadium next week, and they are asking for the same type of donation. So if you think about it, please, there's a lot of people out there that needs a little help. Bring a can of food and help someone.
I guarantee you there'll be 50,000 next week at Commonwealth. Eskimo fans won't lose the faith. Souls with the catch. And he's flung out of bounds. In fact, the busiest day at the Eskimo ticket office is the day after Labor Day. And they will fill Commonwealth next week. And you can bet that the Eskimos will be a lot more competitive.
Well, while we're thinking about that also, I know that the Eskimos have an important drive going on that all the kids can get in free to this game on Friday night in Commonwealth Stadium if you're accompanied by an adult, and the adults just need a ticket to get in. So they may have more than 50,000. So parents, pick up a ticket and take your kids to the ball game.
Foggy throwing that one out of bounds into the net.
Foggy's pass.
And that got a rise out of the fans. 1:01 to go.
It is second down.
So the Stampeders will move to 8-1, an 8-game win streak. Lions second at 7-1-1, and the Eskimos at 6-3. Just 2 points up on Saskatchewan. Big game for the Rough Riders next week. Their rematch of the Labor Day Classic against Winnipeg. Lucius Floyd spins away from a couple down to the 25. Eskimos playing on pride here in this closing minute.
Gerald Bond, number 38.
Fierce comes on a safety blitz, and Foggy's able to read it and dump it off. Two great chains of thought right there. As you can see, there's some serious thinking going on. That's Morris Lawler and also Don Wilson on the sideline. Already can't wait to anticipate the rematch at Commonwealth Stadium on Friday night.
Penalty flag down.
But trying to think, Chris, how far the Edmonton Eskimos have to go to bring themselves back up to be able to be competitive.
Calgary 81 offside. The clock will start on the snap.
Will Johnson.
And also now that since Calgary has shown such dominance in this ball game and playing with such a high level of enthusiasm and emotion, are they able to maintain that through the course of this week and repeat next Friday?
They put a lot of pressure on the Eskimos in more ways than one, because Edmonton has Calgary next week, then back-to-back against BC. It's a big month for the Eskimos. Here's Eddie Brown dancing away from one, and he'll score. Eddie Brown getting one back for Edmonton in the final minute. And Ron Lane.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the hand goes up. He wants 2 points right now because this is a point-on-point series between these two. And if it comes down in some tie, I think it goes. The tiebreaker will be the total amounts of points scored. Eddie Brown does a great job of scooping the ball up. Good quick feet, gets into the end zone.
Johnson was bearing down again, but this time the quick feet of Eddie Brown gets the ball into the end zone. And now they'll try for two. Foggy into the end zone. Flag is down, and almost a terrific catch by Jay Christensen.
Foggy's pass for number 87, Jay Christensen.
Let's wait for the flag.
There's a flag in the middle of the end zone.
Against Calgary.
Illegal contact, Calgary. Half the distance to the goal line. Do it again.
Ron Lancaster yesterday talking about the importance of that total point series, but I don't think anybody will anticipate Edmonton winning by over 30 next week. But maybe a confidence boost here in the final minute. The pitch, Floyd cuts back and nothing doing. Boy, does that sum up the day. Mr. Pope. Big hit on Lucius Floyd.
Nothing like it, just a down the line option. Good contain work, and then when you contain it and turn him back inside, Big Daddy Pope says, hello. Take a look right here and watch the line. You get good containment up here. Everybody's going to take it and he's going to turn it in, and Big Daddy's going to make the play on this one. Slides down the line of scrimmage, comes in, you come back. Now he squares it up, puts the helmet right in his chest, and drives him right in on his back.
So many statistics to digest from this thrashing this afternoon, but the one that really stands out, 22 yards rushing for Edmonton, traditionally a dominant rushing team in this league. That's how they beat Calgary last year, 3 consecutive games. But boy, the Stampeders really shut it down today.
What a compliment to their defense, and they are playing now like with Zizakovic getting a chance to start. They lost a guy named Harold Hasselback who made the Denver Broncos team, and he was a very big substance in their defensive line. So they filled in some spots. Stu Laird is playing out there with some new enthusiasm.
Looks like the Eskimos may try a short kick here as they load it up on the far side of the field.
Calgary has their hands, team.
They come to the near side. Harper put it in the air, but Dave Sapunjas was there to bring it down.
Harper with the kickoff, short for the Eskimos. Fielded by number 25, Dave Sapunjas of the Stampeders. First down.
Well, the home team, a dominant story here in Calgary today. And we are now looking at Hamilton as we pull into Ivor Wynne Stadium. Good crowd on hand. We're getting set for the Argonauts and the Tiger Cats. And the second half of our Labor Day doubleheader. Don Southern, Bob Opilovich, Mike Kerrigan, the former Tiger Cat, will get the start for the Argonauts. Blair Zer is the ball carrier for Calgary. 35 seconds to go. And the Stampeders playing this one out with a 48-15 lead. There's Stu Laird.
Good look at the old fireman vet there. And he's happy. He's smart. He makes the big play. He chased down Ricky Foggy in the middle of the pasture out there and made a great tackle on him. He deserves to be winded a little bit. And that took place about a quarter ago.
Taylor killing the clock. And we're down to maybe one more play. So let's update the standings.
Third down, Stampeders.
BC with the tie this weekend. On for the final playoff spot. Big win by Saskatchewan yesterday. And again, the Eskimos with a tough schedule. How about Calgary? They will not play a 500 team after next week until the final game of the regular season against BC.
And I think you're right. Then Edmonton comes back. They play Calgary next week. They've got a home-and-home series against BC. And then they have Toronto, home and home.
So the Eskimos, the defending Grey Cup champions, have their work cut out for them. If this was a measuring stick, then there's a lot of work to do. But remember, they lost Labor Day last year and didn't really get it going for about 3 or 4 more weeks.
Let's face it right now, Calgary has fallen into Coach Lancaster's plan. He has blown this one today, probably on purpose, not himself personally, but if all things hold together, then he should be somewhere in the playoffs come November.
Bouncing kick, and Gizmo will field it. Flags went down, and Gizmo can't spring it loose. That'll be no yards against the Calgary Stampeders, and should be the final play of the game. Long day for Gizmo. Long day for Edmonton. And perhaps the most satisfying of the 8 wins so far this year for the Calgary Stampeders.
No yards. Calgary decline.
And that is the final play of the ball.
That's the football game. Kev Wally Buono's got to be a very happy man this afternoon. And he is with Mark Lee. Mark?
Wally, you were telling us yesterday that the biggest lesson to have been learned by that Western final loss was how your team reacted. Did we see the verdict here today?
Well, I think we saw a football team that matured and realized that the game is going to be a tough fight. And tonight, like I said, you got to give the players a lot of credit. There's a lot of pressure on them. They played very well.
It's not unusual to see your team score a lot of points, but what about that defense allowing, again, just 1 touchdown against?
Well, again, our defense is proud of what they're doing, and you know, we have a lot of confidence in the players and in the system that we have. And you got to give Edmonton credit too. They're a very good football team. Our guys were on today, but again, it's still a long season.
Way to go, Wally, making 36 wins and 5 losses at home.
Thank you very much.
Wally Buono, the victorious head coach of the Stampeders, who wallop the Eskimos here this afternoon, 48-15 in the annual Labor Day Classic. When we come back, we'll talk to the star of this game, Doug Flutie. Yeah.
What touchdown are we seeing from Flutie?
We got tackled inside the 2.
Yeah. Which highlight are we going to see, Terry?
Thanks, Danny.
Which highlight?
Seconds back. 10 seconds. Here we come. 5, 4.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, and you see the damage on the scoreboard. The final, Calgary 48, Edmonton 15 in this Labor Day Classic, and this is how it all began early in the first quarter. Doug Flutie scoring on a difficult plunge from 1 yard out. Flutie with 1 yard rushing, or 1 touchdown rushing and 2 through the air. Doug, 48-15, is that how you spell vindication?
Maybe not, because it feels great, no question about it. But it still doesn't take away that we didn't win the Grey Cup last year, and that still doesn't sit well. So we got to turn it back around on Friday and do it again.
I remember seeing you during Grey Cup week after the Western final. You were very despondent. It's been 9 months. Have you been thinking a lot about what happened?
Well, you don't get those opportunities very often, those kind of teams. We had a very strong team, and we felt we should have won it. So hopefully this year we'll keep it all together and get it done in the playoffs and try to get the cup back.
Briefly, tell me about the black sweaters.
It was just something Larry Rickman thought up for special occasions. He wants to keep them for special days, special games. It's our Labor Day game, 38,000 fans. He thought it would get the fans a little charged up.
So far, it's been good luck.
I'd say so.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks a lot.
Doug Flutie leading the Stampeders to a 48-15 victory over the Edmonton Eskimos here at McMahon Stadium. We'll be back to wrap up right after this.
Sorry about that. As soon as I flashed you the card, he said one more question.
Okay.
Sorry?
All right, what's the drill now? Okay.
What camera's on? 6. 6. On 6. Get that camera.
Hi, Scott. Yeah. Hi, Scott. Can you hear me? Good. You know, we had excellent makeup today. Johnny Fox, remember him from the Grey Cup? I even got makeup inside my ears. Yeah, that's the guy.
Back in 1 minute. Hey, Scott, I hear you're on a wire IFB over there. 45 seconds. Then what? Seconds, Mark. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Here we come. 5.
And so the Stampeders claim sole possession of first place in the CFL West with 8 wins and 1 loss. A dramatic, one-sided 48-15 victory today over the Eskimos. Now, part 2 of our Labor Day double dip. Let's go live to Iberwin Stadium and join Scott Oak.
Thanks to Ivor Wynn.